Hi, and welcome to Monday Night Toy Ramblings with me, your host, Lawrence, a punk with toys. Some of you guys call me a punk, some of you guys call me punk, some of you guys call me Lawrence. It doesn't really matter. I find it actually kind of funny on some of the live streams when people see me and they refer to me as Lawrence, and I'm sure the other people that don't know who I am are wondering who the hell they're talking about. So, I gotta say right now, I said that I'm probably going to be 9-ish. Well, let's just say things have kind of changed. So we're going to do things a little differently, but hey, you know what? Guess what? This is my channel. It's not like I can make a lot of money from it. So unfortunately, my ex, my kid's mother, is in Dallas for training, for her work or whatever. And my son picked up a shift to work till 9. So I was going to be a little late. So I'm in the line to pick up McDonald's for him, and he sends me a message saying the shift is till 10. I got a big show. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the show probably around 9:30. I'm just going to stop the show for a short bit. I'm going to run out, probably be gone for a half hour, pick him up. Then I'm going to come back. So if you guys want to stick around, if you guys want to come back, you want to keep the chat going, you want to leave a bunch of super chats so I can come and see, that's awesome. You want to join the membership, that's good. You want to buy some merchandise, my guess. So anyway, that is what's going to happen. It's a little bit different, but hey, you know what? We're not like everyone else now, are we? So anyway, let's hope everyone is having a wonderful day, a great start to the week. I can already see the chat is getting pretty big here, which is awesome. I love seeing that at the beginning. That's why I hate missing a day. I haven't missed a day yet, and I really don't want to miss days yet. So, as I mentioned, probably around 9:30, I'm going to be hitting the pause button, I guess you could say, bolting to pick up my son from work, and then I will be back. All right. So anyway, let's just get into it. So you probably saw the videos. Well, I dropped the video, so I do have a couple pickups really quick. I will show you. I picked up this Stridor last week here for like $3.29. I already have one, but hey, you can't pass up something like this. Even I might be willing to try a custom, but I got so many different He-Man and different things like that. I can find something to do with that. So if you have any Myers, you're in the Midwest, Michigan, Meyer has a whole bunch of them, and they're just trying to get rid of them. And then I picked up the Redeco Roadblock. And I picked up this O-ring machine gunner station, whatever it is. I always like this. It's fully complete. It has little barricades. Has the ammo canister. So I did pick it up. I know a lot of people saw the video. That was kind of interesting to see how doing an old video of an older figure would actually go. And I was surprised at how well it actually did. It was nice to actually go back and point out some of the things that I pointed out early on when I really didn't know what I was doing with my channel or anything. So I see more people are starting to show up. Thank you very much. And we're going to get into it. You guys are going to have a lot of time to chat. Believe me. You're going to have a lot of time to chat when I bolt here and then I come back. So I do want to mention Punks on Film. We will be talking about Police Academy this Thursday, so join us. Also, you still have time to join or to vote on the next movie, but it looks like it's going to be Big Trouble in Little China. It's kind of running away. I didn't really expect that. Expect it to go like that. So quickly, let's say hi to the chat because there is a good amount of you guys in here. Radical Toys was here a while ago. We got Banditone, who says he's not late, but I was supposed to be late. Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. Man, I was just went down a rabbit hole of YouTube and listened to talk about how I beat up Vader and flip-flops in the shower. Matthew Matson. It is going to be an interesting night. We'll see what happens. He is the moderator. What he says goes. Thanos Copter. It's awesome to have a Thanos Copter in here. I see this guy all over the chat. When I start seeing some of you guys that I see in other chats, and I know, hey, you know what? people are actually getting to know who the hell I am. So we got Viper Scout, Payne's Toy Samples. Check out his show this Friday. He has a very interesting concept. And then we got Christopher Vos here. Just watched at Viper Island. Seemed like Falcon. It hasn't been released yet. I bought mine 3 months ago at Walmart. Yeah. BMW Rhino is here. We got Ray Paz in the house. Boba Wave. Every time I see Boba Wave, like I mentioned, I used to have a Boba Fett license plate back in 1995, I think. So I still see like Boba Wave, and in my head goes to like, oh, is that me? No, it's not. And then we have Ostradamus Toys, the guy that has longer streams than I do. And then we have Action Figs. I love seeing this guy. He brought up something that kind of made me change maybe how I was looking at a couple things. So anyway, and we have Jeremy Kimberlin, who is in the house. I love when Jeremy joins. Again, he runs a pretty good GI Joe Facebook site. And we got Cobra Commander, not Cobra, Commander of Cobra, not the Cobra La dude. RL is in the house. All right, so I think I went through everything. Always paying. Listen, you're a good guy. I may not agree with all the streams you might be part of, but I'm just messing with you. Oh, I missed Allison, one of our members. I do want to say I have changed the memberships, all memberships now. If you are at the end of all my videos, not the live stream, but at the end of all the videos, I will have your names at the end. So if you are interested, jump on, join the membership. There's 99 cents. There's $2.99. Again, it helps. It tells me you guys are interested. So I got 23 people. I'm going to repeat once again last time. My son is working, and I have to go pick him up. So when he's supposed to text me about 15 minutes before he's done, I'm going to hit the pause button, shoot on out there, grab him, come back, and guess what? We'll be right back to what we were doing. So if you stick around, great. If you have other things to do, you want to go watch some Monday Night Raw, get that in, be my guest. I fully understand, or see in the chat. So, all right. I've been working on some merchandise. We've talked about it before, so I'm going to show you guys right now. There should be a link at the bottom of the screen or in any of the videos. I have two different shirts, different mugs, hats, and I really wanted a dog with toys. Roman's face. He is the star of the show. No one wants to see me. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to see me. So I did a dog with toys, but Tony Romo. This is a Tony Romo exclusive. His special right here. He constantly was saying, "No, I want one that says Roman with toys. Roman with toys." So I specifically got one with Roman with toys, and I'm still working on a few other things. Maybe some pictures you've seen that I've done already, but I gotta modify them. So again, anything that you guys want to help, listen. If you guys have ideas, something you want to see, shoot it my way. It just takes me time to pound on my daughter to get this stuff done. But anyway, I just want to show you we are going to have more merch. We'll be, rolling new stuff out. And again, everything helps. Everything is appreciated more than anything. So, all right. Trying to see, is there anything else? Listen, today's been it's been a complete mess. Trying to figure out how I was going to do stuff. Like I said, I don't missing. I don't miss. I don't like missing. It's consistency is king. It was one of the first things that I started. I wanted to make sure that I was going to be, move this real quick. I wanted to make sure that I was going to be consistent. It was one of the things that I talked to Matthew about. I had to make sure that I was willing to be here every Monday. Yeah, there's going to be some days that you may have to miss. And that's all fine and dandy, but this one wasn't planned. So anyway, let's get right into it. And I have modified some other things if you haven't noticed. I changed the logo. I kind of got rid of the old GI Joe. I still have the American flag, and then I put the skyline of Detroit because, well, I'm from Detroit. So just trying to make some changes. So let's get into the toy news. I know I'm going to miss something, but hey, you know what? I have like some time to think about it when I'm going to pick up my son. So let's start off with some Masters of the Universe talk because I know it's not the biggest thing that goes on here. So let's talk about this. The Skeleton Warrior packaging, these Skeleton Warriors, I definitely jumped on it. I absolutely love these things. They glow in the dark. I just think they look cool. They don't look like anything else that we've seen in Masters of the Universe, especially the Origins line. Obviously, their body molds are a little bit different. So really cool. I can't wait to get these. Jeffrey, come on. I like Motu, but we'll get it in and out of the way, okay? We'll get it out of the way. We'll get to some other stuff that I know people seem to enjoy maybe a little bit more. Yeah, look at like Matthew. As soon as he sees any type of skeleton, he is all over it. And they're glow in the dark skeletons. I think they're like $30 for both of them too. So, oh, and Nostradamus, yes. I enjoy what you guys do. Like, I seriously do. If you guys aren't watching Pain and not watching Nostradamus, you guys need to jump on it. They do a really good job. I like what Pain's doing with his stream. It's a work in progress because he just started, but you know what? The biggest hurdle is just getting on and doing it, just starting it. So we'll take a look at these things. Here they are, and they have so many different ways that you can just modify them and have different ones. So if you ordered 2, 3, 4 of these, you can just mix and match a bunch of different stuff. So again, Mode 2 is a lot of repaints. These are not repaints, which is nice. This is going to be all new sculpt, all new mold. So, I'm definitely excited to get these. So here's the packaging. Again, it's going to look, I would assume, a lot like the Target 2-pack that was super hard to find, and then Target couldn't give them away. Although they at least tried to clearance those. They took forever due to the GI Joe movie figs for some odd reason, right? Someone explain that one to me. Ray Paz says, no articulation with that classic Mode 2 line. For the price, I don't think it's worth it. The Masterverse is better. Well, I guess it's how when you say that price, they started off at $15. When they're at store, you can get them for $18 to $20 online. But again, you're taking a known line where you can just insert it directly into your original line, and you really don't even notice the difference. So I'm not gonna argue because I've really been hard on people with articulation, but I think for what you're paying for this, and I've done a video when I really didn't know how to do videos about how I think it's the best line for parents to play with their kids. And Jay Dioramos, I'm not gonna say it twice. Nice to see. I know I've never seen this name in here. And Matthew, if you correct me, I'll scream when I leave. So here's the back of the box. I love, again, I mentioned before, the artwork with the Motu Origins is second to none. I'm not saying there's, not stuff as good, but the stuff they do is wonderful. There's so many Easter eggs they normally throw in. I don't know if there's too many Easter eggs in this, but what you do have is amazing glow-in-the-dark skeletons. And if you collect Motu Origins, if you have that scare glow, you know how wonderful that thing glows. Way better than any of the Super 7 stuff that I had gotten that's supposed to be glow-in-the-dark. So yeah, kind of crazy. Again, here's more fighting scenes of them. They're really telling you to army build these. And Motu never had any type of army builders that I can remember. If you have the Palace Guards, here you have them fighting. Again, that's another one that if you have a couple Palace Guards, you can mix and match and kind of make a nice little army full of stuff. So, and here we go. You know, more, and again, I like the way they colored it to make it look like it's actually glowing in the dark. Yeah, Pat. Like, yeah, the art is nice. Like, if you're an inbox collector, like this might be perfect just to flip it around on the back there. Yes, JLS Comics. I mentioned, like, listen, I didn't realize this guy had a channel. Again, you don't notice all the time. Great content. I mean, he have 28,000 subscribers, I think. So you don't get that much without. I can't say that. I've seen some people with some pretty bad content, but you're not one of them. But again, the artwork on this, it looks really nice, and they did a really good job of making it seem like it's glowing in the dark. So, and then earlier today, I saw this on Toy Habits. So if you're not following Toy Habits, really good. If you like this type of stuff, Motu stuff, this is a great website to go to, toyhabits.com. Unfortunately, I'm not going to lie, it moves kind of sluggish, unfortunately, due to, I think, a lot of the pop-offs. But hey, you know what? We're doing this as a side job, so you kind of have to, you got to pay for that stuff. You constantly got to say that, man. There's a lot of work that goes into this, so you got to pay for this stuff. So the picture here definitely is not that good, but looking at what we got here, this CamelCon head in blue, I think looks really nice. I liked the CamelCon, but I liked CobraCon. He was always my favorite Motu figure, so I definitely wanted the classic head. But to get this blue, I just think is really nice. I like these two Snake Men here, and it also has an extension head, extension, so it can extend the head. Not a fan of the He-Man, and I'm glad that I did not order this He-Man by itself. Because I don't really like it. And Crash, nice to see you. Another channel member, thank you very much. Listen, everyone, I appreciate it, but especially the channel members. Just showing a little love here. And so we got what looks like Snake Mountain in the back here. And He-Man's obviously fighting all of them. And let's be honest, he's not going to have too hard of a time fighting off some Snake Men. But I like that this just dropped, and I gotta throw it in the slides. Here's a better look at the art. I like He-Man. I can't tell if he's just picking this guy up or he's punching him. I've never understood the little claw, but again, I don't like the snake armor He-Man. But I do love this artwork. I really wish we would have had a better looking picture, but hey, you can't complain too much about it. And Ted Darklaw has joined. Thank you very much. If you're ordering online and you want to check out, a good place, helladopetoys.com. Check them out. They will ship the next day if it is in stock. I really do enjoy them. Again, they do a live stream. The live stream is more to promote their store while it's as it's growing. So check them out. I will vouch for them, and I know Payne will also. Payne buys lots of stuff from them. Here's the back of the artwork, and we can see the other Snake Men that are coming in this wave. I actually skipped a lot of them. The Snake Skeletor, I just don't care about. Lashor, I'm waiting on. But then you have, again, just awesome artwork. And I would love a much clearer picture so we can kind of nitpick and maybe other people. I'm not a huge Motu guy, so I'm a Motu collector, but I don't know all the lore of everything. So I want to say hi to Rich Murphy. He is by far the sexiest man in this stream, just so you know. All right, he's the sexiest man. I ordered the Skeleton Warriors and the Snake Man set. Motu, my new love. There's a few people that I know that I've gotten people into the Motu stuff. All right. All right, so I threw this in here, Dungeons and Dragons. I do not collect Dungeons and Dragons. I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, but there's something about this figure that I just thought looked really good. And I like to go back to what Robo on the Fruit says. Hey, sometimes you may not know know something, but it just looks nice. So I just wanted to throw it in this because if I walk by this and it's on clearance or sale, I might not pass it up. I just thought it looked really nice. Obviously, with getting into some of the Mythic Legions and the Awalk, I kind of transitioning away from some of the military style stuff that I did to some more like mythical stuff. But I did think this figure looks pretty good. I know he's a little bit of a repaint, or some repaint, shall I say. But I don't mind because I don't have the first guy. So it doesn't matter. Backwoods, it's nice to see you. But I think this looks good. I didn't really look at the price point of it. I just said it. Yes. Listen. I'm not asking. Oh, Harry. Listen, sexiest man by far. I'm not. Listen. I'm not gonna tell anyone to go be friends with someone because there's some creepy people out there. I gotta say, like, and the fact that you're able to go with it when you're posting some of that stuff, I absolutely love it. And then Johnny Reno, that Drizzt actually looks cool. I picked one up, so I don't know. I think that must be his name. I don't know anything about this figure. I just know that it looks pretty cool. And Brick something, it is nice to see you. All right, we got 47 people. So let's finish this. I don't know if there's another. Okay, so quickly, let me mention this again. Move this really quick. We got 44 people watching, so you guys are all here in the beginning. I mentioned that I was supposed to be late today, and that's because, do you hear that? Do you hear that? That is my ex's dog, which is my ex dog also. He won't go up the steps, so now he's at the bottom going, absolutely crazy. Yeah, he can go up the steps. So anyway, I mentioned at the beginning, I was supposed to be late. My kid's mom is in Dallas for training for work. He picked up a shift that was supposed to run. It's supposed to go to 9 o'clock, so I was going to be a little late. While I was in line at McDonald's to get him some food, he messaged me and said they screwed up. It goes till 10 o'clock. So I'm waiting till he messages me. Then I'm going to hit the pause button. I'm going to run out, grab him. You guys can see in the chat. You can join the membership. Go buy some merch while you're at it. Do some super chats just because. Or go watch Monday Night Raw. But then I'll be back. And if you guys are still here, great. I'm going to finish the show. I got a lot to talk about. I always got a lot to talk about. You notice I'm going pretty quickly today. I think in the beginning, the first few that I did, I flew through things pretty quickly. So let's add this back to the stream. So McFarlane dropped these the Batman 66 figures, and I gotta say, like every time I see these rebreathers on them, they just look corny. They really do. He should just at least throw in a alternate head. Listen, hey, if I thought that he would sit in the seat for a half hour while I run away, I would leave him here in a minute because he knows what he's doing. He knows where he's at. But he's right now he's whining more than usual because he unfortunately has to have all the attention. I think you have to figure that one out. So when Sheldon is here, he acts like a little baby. So some about Yvonne Krent, yes. So Yvonne Krent filled out the bat suit. So here is the thing. if you notice here, the Batman 66, it doesn't say the classic TV series is Batman 66. So what everyone has talked about and all the streams have shown this is that there's likeness rights with Yvonne Craig. So what they actually did was they took the comic book, because there's a Batman 66 comic book, and they did the figure based on that Batgirl and not Yvonne Craig. So that's why you can see that it looks different. The same way there's a Two-Face, there was never a Two-Face. So it is, I mean, cool. If it's something you want, listen, if I looked at this, listen, it's McFarlane, all right? Who knows? I mean, some of their figures look like the figure, some of them don't. And I just noticed this Batman has a major side eye, which is McFarlane special. Like, why does he have so many figures with side eye? I mean, do we really need that much side eye? You wouldn't think that we do. But Robin's looking straight, and I will be honest. I had a huge crush on Batgirl. I probably still do. I think we all watch that show and go, I need a girl to dress up like that. But the figures look pretty good, and they are 6-inch figures, so they do seem to fit in pretty well. Again, not a lot of articulation, but they are a little bit cheaper. Yes, buddy, I'm right here. Do you want to say hi? Here, come say hi. Come on, here, come on. Say hi to everyone. Come on. There we go. Look here. Look over there. Look. I know. I showed them all that you got your own shirt now and everything, right? Yeah, you got your own shirt, okay? Because no one wants this ugly mug on it. So, can you move, though? Can you go outside? Go. Yeah, jump over Stridor. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right. Let's see here. I've got the classified Flint with some major side eye. Does Flint have? I don't think Flint has a side eye. Let's see here. Matthew says, I don't like the figures, but I kind of want the Catwoman variants and back. Listen, I think it looks really good. I mean, in all honesty, I do think they look pretty good. I don't think you need a Batman with the rebreather. You should at least give like a regular head, in my opinion. But here's some giant handcuffs. I'm sure they were in somewhere in it. That show was so corny, and it's kind of funny that people hate, 89 Batman because he kills people. And I'm like, man, I'd rather kill people than do what he did there. Here you have, better pictures of the rebreather. I don't know why anyone would want this, to be honest. I think it just looks, I don't know. But hey, to each their own. I mean, you love Batman. You love 66 Batman. Hey, jump on it. Robin. Again, everything else looks pretty good. I mean, for being such a basic looking figure. All right. Just waiting to see when my son messages me to come pick him up, because we are getting close to when I would assume it's ready for me to be picked up. All right. So let's get into some Awalk talk. So they now have Series 3 or Wave 3, whatever it is, up for pre-order. But they also have this video game, which is done by, if anyone in the chat knows exactly what, I know, the guys in the chat who know who it's done by, feel free to post who it is. It's Jeremy. I see Jeremy from time to time, in Articulated Chad's chat and some of the other guys, and obviously when they're talking Awalk. So this is up there. I think it's like Authority figure. Okay. So see, authority figure. There's actually a commercial and everything for it. So check it out. It's kind of cool. I mean, I don't have any friends around here that would play with, like action figures or anything like that. But if you do, the commercial's like a real commercial. It's not, it's not just a joke. But I think it's like about $80, $85, something like that for the kicks. I think it's a Kickstarter. So here is Wave 3. It is all up for order. And some of you guys are going to get really mad at me, but I got to speak my mind on this. Let's do a live stream. Let's do a live stream play of it. I don't even know how we would do that, but I'm more than willing to try and figure it out. All right, so anyway, you can pre-order the all-in backer for the Wave 4. Now, I really do like these figures. As of right now, I would say I would at least pick one of these figures to be in one of my figures of the year. They're very smooth. They look really nice. They look really nice. Their hands pop out super easy. I have not tried actually pop and swap into the arms, but was it Brick? Were you the one that did it? And their weapons are really nice. Again, they stand. Everything is nice. But I do have to say this. If I'm going to bash, it's not even bash. If I'm going to point out with Valiverse and even with GI Joe and Classified that a lot of these figures are repaints, I got to say the same thing here. It's hard for me to justify constantly rebuying the same figure that's a slight repaint. Some of them I think look wonderful, and if you're all in, then awesome. I'm all for it. I'm not going to complain about these figures because I think they're I think they're wonderful figures. Matthew and I had a quick conversation about it. I'm like, dude, just order one. Order one and see what you see what you think about it. I do think that the monkey ones by far look the best. Those were the ones that I had ordered. But again, it is a lot of repaint, a lot of reusing the tooling, but they look wonderful. You've seen the pictures that I did. I made pictures look good, and I'm not a photographer. So, but if you are interested, Wave 3 is up for pre-order. I like this figure. I think it looks really nice. Again, I don't know anything about the lore, and I want to say, is it Brick? Are you the one that's doing the show about it? When you're going over the whole lore of it, one of those guys, and I apologize. I apologize for not remembering exactly who it is, but they're actually going over the lore, and they're actually, yeah. So Brick, you're right. Yeah, check out Brick. He does a really good job. It's all you guys that make content do it way better than I do. I'm just very animated. But I like these figures. Now, I'm really interested to get my hand on one of these big boys. All right, so Allison says it's Brick and Adam. So check it out. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I don't like reading. I'm not going to buy comics or anything like that. So I don't know anything about the lore. I know that I looked at them and I said, wow, look at it. I can have Rakondo like hunting one of them. I can have Storm Shadow fighting over one. Oh, and I also like to say this. I'm not going to. The Massiverse Stinkor that you can find pretty cheap. That you can find pretty cheap, fit in pretty well with them. They match pretty well. Brick, I told you that like when I was watching it. Like I need someone to read it. Like I can lay down in my bed and you guys can read me the story of the Awalks. Digital Diarrhea, thank you. Another channel member, thank you very much. I definitely appreciate you jumping in here and all your guys' support. So anyway, what I'm saying is the big boy here. I have not got my hands on one of these guys. I'm definitely looking forward to it. And here's what I can say, and this kind of goes back to the reason why I got Valiverse. Well, I take that back. Valiverse was different. Valiverse was, Everyone says it's the greatest figures ever. Everyone says it's the biggest piece of shit ever. It had to be somewhere in the middle. With these Awalks, I did not hear a single person say a bad thing about them. So I had to jump on. I wanted to see how they felt. I picked up 3 of them, and I gotta say, they're really nice. Again, the way the hands pop out, they're not pinless, but I'm not. I don't get super mad about pinless joints. I can leave it or take it. I think someone like Hasbro, they shouldn't have pinless. They should have all pinless joints. They definitely have the financial backing to do it. And then there was this. So now this kind of goes to my whole thing of like, the Four Horsemen Studio puts out this figure obscura, and it is the Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. And I'm like, it looks pretty awesome, but after shipping and handling, I could buy 2 Awalk figures that also look pretty awesome, who actually will have more articulation. And it's, I liked it, but clearly it didn't do as well as they had anticipated because it didn't sell out at that second run around when they showed it, I think, at 9 o'clock. It was up on Sunday still. So I'm not going to say it doesn't look nice, because it does, but especially the yelling face. Let's see here. It says, I don't like Bobby right now, just saying. Okay. I don't know if there's a reason behind it. If there is, you can feel free to message me. I do think this. I was really tempted. I'm like, man, if it's still up, tomorrow I'll buy it. And it was still up, and I was like, if it's still up an hour, I'll buy it. I really didn't want to get into it, just because it's $75 for this one figure. I'm not saying that it's a bad price, but I got a lot of other stuff I need to worry about. It also kind of reminds me of the monkey from the Lion King. Just the way they post him out. I know it's not the same monkey. This face here does look absolutely awesome. I'll probably end up regretting not getting this, but then I'll get the Mezco Destro, and I'll be okay. I'm still a little bitter that I keep seeing people get that Mezco Destro. I need it in my hands. So I know some of you got it. I already saw some of you guys post it that you got it. Yeah. Let's see here. Mr. Wonderful. That's not Mr. Wonderful. If you're not buying Awalk, Savage Crucible Valiverse, you're missing out. Well, you know what? Yes and no. I mean, I can make. You can't say you're missing out on Savage Crucibles because we don't have them in hand. I don't know what the other one, some of those other ones are. Again, not certain things aren't for everyone. I can make a discussion about why I'm over the Valiverse right now, and I can make a discussion for how I think they're actually really, really good figures. Here's the back of him. I do like that he has a tail, something that Awalk figures do not have. But at the same time, I'm really aggravated with the tails on the back of my gargoyles because they knock everything over. And here's the accessories. Again, 4 different face sculpts. It looks like they obviously pop off. So you can do different things with it. The screaming faces look absolutely amazing. I cannot... That really had me thinking, that yelling one, it really had me just wanting to grab it, but I had to say no. Sometimes we have to be responsible. And then here's the last picture of him. Again, if you picked it up, awesome. I really hope that he turns out to be as good as good as he looks. I mean, it's 4 Horsemen. Honestly, like, again, I have three Mythic Legions, and even though I was surprised at how little articulation they did have, that sculpt, the painting, it makes me say, hey, you know what? I can deal with something like that. All right, so I'm still waiting to hear from my son. What time is it? It is 9:40. So, all right. I am probably going to have to leave shortly. Like I said, I'm going to hit pause, and we will be right back. So let's get into something where I didn't even plan this, and that is, oh God. So wave 2 of the Super 7 GI Joes are shipping, and it looks like once again Super 7 is at it with their face sculpts, and I'm already hearing people apologize for it. And believe me, this will be talked about a little bit later on today. This does not look like this does not look like the cover girl, or not the cover girl, the Lady J they showed. But it's just way off. It doesn't even look like her face doesn't even look right. And some of the other pictures later on that we'll see, you'll definitely see it. And then Flint looks, I mean, it looks like there's no paint at all on his face. Like there's nothing. And it doesn't even look like it's a skin colored plastic. I don't get it. And I'll be honest, Wave 1 looked like they had it right. Like all the figures that I looked, aside for their like articulation, for the most part, they looked pretty good. Flint looked like he smoked too many blunts. And here's kind of a side-by-side comparison of what you're supposed to get. To be honest, if you look at Lady J and Flint here, they look like they're more brother than sister than boyfriend and girlfriend. And she really has that, my eyes are way too far. We all know someone like it, that their eyes just are way too far away from each other. So this is Super 7. Again, we'll be more talk about Super 7 later on. I don't know if they're from Alabama. If they are, then it's okay. Because Alabama is good with dating each other. Although I actually did date a girl from Alabama. That was weird. I live in Michigan, so. And then here is the Flint. As you can see, looks nothing like the digital renders. And yes, we know we've also seen that with GI Joe. And I'm already hearing people starting to complain about some of these new Joes that are already showing up. And I'm not really seeing too much of an issue. We always know they're going to be a little bit different, but again, it looks like it's just this, I don't know, the color doesn't even match. It does not look like a skin tone. So, I'm sorry. It's really bothersome. And I think the biggest issue that I have is I see on these, and again, I'll go back. I don't think a lot of GI Joe fans are toy collectors. They're GI Joe fans, and that's fine. And I see people posting these on the Joe Facebook groups, and I feel bad because they think this is good, and it's not for the $50 price point. Again, if you waited, you could have used my code to get all of Wave 1 for $165 and 10% off. I think it was $165. Super 7 did not hold their price, so unless it's something you really need, I'd wait and see if it goes down. Break something says, not worth judging till we have them in hand. The early Quicksilver photos look like shit, but are apparently much better than those pics. Well, so Valiverse, quickly, we'll get into this. The Special Deployment series is going to be kicking off really quick, really soon. So Keurig, Bone Collector, and Condor will all be available with hopefully they're using the same factory and plastic that they used for the last special deployment series because honestly, almost a perfect figure. This is just a look of the original. There is supposed to be some slight differences to him. I don't remember exactly what it was. Here's Bone Collector. I hope that they toned down the glossiness on the face. I thought the Series 1 faces were way overpainted. But if this is anything like the other Special Deployment series, these figures are, honest to God, top notch. You're not going to complain as long as you like the figure. We already know my complaints. We'll probably get into them in a second. Here's Condor. I know he's going to have some differences. I'm looking forward to getting the. There's another Condor that's coming out that's from his earlier days, something different. So I am real interested in this. But these figures do come with a lot of weapons. Again, I have my. They have their faults, but I think every figure has faults. Yes, Valahans. Yes, I got my base of Valahans. There's actually less now because I sold off some of my figures. And then the other thing they showed is this is coming soon, the Desert Warfare. And I guess I have to talk about it again. So, nice looking figure. This is meant to go with your Desert Rat and also go with your Dusty figures. Now, it's obviously a little bit different, but it's supposed to be more of a figure that's made for the sand, for the desert. Again, another repaint. I don't know how many of these there are. I can't justify the constant buying of the same figure. This is everything that it comes with. This is a $23 figure, I believe. It's $23 or $22, $23. Again, I like that you can buy the base body, but my issue becomes here's the Desert Gear Pack. So let's say you want an actually armored up one. Well, you have to spend $15 or $14 on the gear pack and then $22. It's actually more than a regular figure, and this isn't even a named figure. So it's up to you. If I could buy this for $32 completely assembled, I probably would. That's why I picked up the Dork Side exclusive, and that's why I don't have. What was the other one? There was another one that I really liked, but you had to buy it in parts, and I just wasn't happy about it. But if you want everything, boom, you gotta buy two things, put them together. I like the fact that you can buy it separately, but you should be able to buy this figure completely assembled. And again, if you look back here, these don't even come with windowed packaging. They're windowless packaging, so it's even costing even less. No one would care. I think you might sell a few more. But if I'm also Bobby, how much is it? So a name figure that's fully loaded out is $32. Not bad. For this figure here, he is $22, I believe. 22 or 23 for the base. And then if you want his accessories, that's $14. So you're actually paying more to get the figure You're actually paying more to get the figure loaded out the way that he's supposed to be loaded out. That's been my gripe for quite some time. And I know other people have said the same thing. I'm probably just the most vocal about it. This is everything that it comes with. I think they're giving the muzzle flashes now. I do like that. They have much better muzzle flashes than what the GI Joe stuff is. That stuff is, most of it's awful. It looks nothing like a muzzle flash, and I just don't like it. So I'm going to tell you this. Can't wait to get Desert Rat stock and going to use Junkman's 10% off. Well, I will say this, and we all have that 10% off. I'd rather you not promote someone else's EE. I'd rather you not promote someone else's Entertainment Earth code here. Just I have one too. A punk. That easy. But here's the thing. And the reason why I don't push these over there is because they're like $4 more over on Entertainment Earth for some reason. You can buy them for $32 at BBTS or the Valiverse site, or go to Hella Dope Toys and nitpick what they still have left. But yeah, you definitely want to. So, you definitely want to. Again, I don't know why they're more expensive. Yes, use a Punk with Toys discount because you're listening to me. I don't know who the other guy is. Maybe he's a good guy. I'm sure he is. Again, we all have it. Like, man, they hand it out like it's water. I cannot believe that my son has not texted me yet. I'm absolutely. Well, I did it again. I hit the wrong button. Now I got to figure out where those slides were at. That was not on purpose. I wasn't just leaving. Oh, look, Ted Dark Claw here saying new Valiverse stuff is heading to Hella Dope Toys. Again, I want to push people to go to Entertainment Earth because you get 10% off, but they are more expensive than at Hella Dope Toys. So go to Hella Dope Toys and help these little guys out. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And I gotta say, some of these smaller ones, some of these smaller toy companies like Hella Dope Toys are really getting the stuff faster than some of these other people. And I don't know why. I think it's good. I know NECA's been, obviously doing it, which is good. Help the smaller guys out if you can, just like want to help the smaller channels out. All right, so I do want to start dropping some Gridiron stuff. We talk a lot about military stuff, and Gridiron, who admittedly I will say is a little bit too expensive, but as people have mentioned before, they if you have a figure you absolutely love, then you need to pick up their stuff and load out a figure you love or figures. I can't imagine. I don't know how people can buy all their stuff, but I know people do. So, if you don't know, Valiverse and Gridiron, they pretty much hate each other. That's being pretty nice. They don't like each other. And I don't know if this is a direct competition, if they're like, hey, you know what? It takes a long time to develop stuff. So one of these had them, I think one of these had them just ready to go. But Valiverse, he posted that he was going to have his figures or his ghillie suit. All of a sudden, a month or two later, boom, here's the Gridiron. And say what you want about Gridiron, they make absolutely wonderful, wonderful stuff. So, now this looks pretty realistic. I know that I have my hand on like I know I had my hands on like their their name sandbags, and they use real sandbags, which 3D printed ones like that you can print up the old GI Joe stuff. It's cool to have sandbags, but when you have like the real sandbags and the way they drop, they form so wonderfully. But I gotta say, this ghillie suit does look really nice. So does the gun. I want to say it was like $45, so it is expensive. All the Gridiron stuff is expensive. But I do have reviews on them. I do think that they are really good. All right, so I just got the message. So here, I got to pick up my son. We're going to hit the pause button. I'm going to run, grab my son, then head back, okay? So, guys, stick around if you want. Chat along. Do what you need. But I do have to go pick up my son. Listen, we're unconventional here. Gonna drink some pop for the road. I will see you guys all in a few, and we'll be right back. And I'm back. All right, guys. 26 people still here. Thank you very much. Promise this won't happen too often. I see Outback Stew has shown up. He probably shown up and said, "What the hell is going on here?" I'm not really gonna go through everything. I was waiting. I was expecting to have like $300, $400 with the super chats and new channel members. I don't see anything. So anyway, thank you guys all, honestly, for sticking around. It really, really does mean a lot. I really do pride myself on. Allison, there was nothing better happening than I'll be back. No, cool. Thank you very much. Honestly, thank you very much. Yeah, so I'm back. My son is safely in the house after picking him up from work and the things you have to do. But hopefully we won't have to stop too many streams, especially considering it seemed like we were doing so well. We had like 50-some people. So let's get back to what we were talking about. So shortly after Valiverse had dropped that they were going to be doing a ghillie suit, Gridiron came through and dropped theirs. And again, I believe that it is around like $45. I've had my complaints about Gridiron and their prices. And hey, listen, if someone's willing to pay for it, awesome. I have no problem with that at all. But this does look really nice. I don't know if I really need a ghillie suit for the type of stuff that I do. If Valiverse comes in with one that is on a price point that I think is really good, I will definitely pick one up because I have issues. But here's the back of it. I do love the sniper rifle. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so Tony, the shell of Gridiron, says it's $35, but then your shipping and handling is, I do believe all the shipping is $5. So you're looking at $40 plus Johnny, I'm straight edge, man. I've gone 47 years without ever tasting alcohol or cigarette or drugs. So no alcohol in there for me, just pure sugary cola. I gotta say, it definitely covers the figure really well. I do wonder how the trigger hand is gonna hold on to it. Are you saying what the hell about the straight edge? Yes. Listen, you grow up a punk. Listen, there's lots of reasons. I mean, I'll get personal one day with you guys if you really want. No, I forgot to even mention about hitting 2,000 subscribers. We're gonna do that. We'll do that towards the end, I guess. Yeah, listen, I grew up a punk. There was reasons behind it that I never did, but you know, when you get into your 20s and late 20s and your 30s, you're like, why would I want to spend my money on that? I've been good without it. So this does look nice. Like I said, I will be interested to see how the trigger hand will fit onto the sniper rifle, because that can definitely be tricky. Let's go back really quick. Since it doesn't have whatever it is. I can't think of it. It's so crazy right now having to run out and run back. And I want to say hi to the only articulated Chad that I know. He can call himself It's Chad all he wants now, but he will always be articulated Chad to me. Thank you for jumping on. I know you were a little bit busier earlier today. All right. So there is the Gridiron. Again, I'm going to start putting in a few more gridiron things just because that definitely does hit some of the stuff that the military stuff that we talk about. Um, that's it. The pistol grip. That's it. Thank you. Doesn't have the pistol grip. The thing's okay. But they don't drop things regularly, or they don't drop things like other companies like Valiverse. Well, no one drops anything like GI Joe, but like Valiverse, Four Horsemen, Boss Fight Studios. They don't, their product is, they're one-offs for the most part. There's no series, there's no waves, nothing like that. So, but I think I'm going to start talking about them because I did do some reviews, and I gotta say, I really do think that they do some wonderfully designed weapons. Again, I think the price point is a little expensive for me, but you find a figure that you love. You say you love Outback, right? Outback stew, and you find the perfect Outback weapons, and that's what you're gonna do. All right, so let's get into a little GI Joe because, of course, there's always a lot of GI Joe news over in Europe, never really here. So it looks like these figures will be hitting us pretty soon. So they should be hitting us pretty soon. They're hitting Europe. More than likely, Canada will get them, and we'll be able to start ordering them. Hopefully, we don't have too many issues. Oh, buddy, no. I literally just got home. I know. So here we have Copperhead. I think we've all seen the pictures of the Copperhead. I think he looks pretty nice. I've already seen Chaz's. All right, hold on. Say hi again. Oh, say hi. Okay, here you go. Oh, say hi to all the people that didn't get to see you earlier. All right, buddy. And for anyone that's just tuning in that didn't see, there is new merch out there with Roman's face on it. A dog with toys and a Roman with toys, shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, hats, anything you like. Also, if you do pick something up, let me know. Shoot me a picture when you get it, and we'll post you on here if you want. I think it'd be really cool to show the people that do support the merch and different things like that. All right. So Roman is Roman. Yes, Anthony, he picked it up right away. Like I said, the Roman with toys, that is the Tony Figs exclusive. He really wanted one that said Roman with toys. And then, I forget who sent me I thought you were going to go with a pup with toys. And I'm like, I like the dog with toys. He said, but pup fits so much better. And I'm like, oh God, you're so right. Anyway, so far from the things that we've heard about Copperhead, it sounds like the plastic is better than what we've been getting, which is good. Again, I will believe it when I get it in hand. I haven't had a lot of issues with the classified figures, but I've shown the figures that I have, and I'm not stupid enough to sit there and say, well, just because I haven't had issues, there's no issues. We know there are issues, and it seems like that last wave was very soft. Roman with my homies. Listen, there's all kinds of things that we could think about and do. I'm just gonna hope some people are interested and actually want to jump on and order some of the merchandise. So I do have to say I'm disappointed. This is their property. He's pretty light on accessories. A machete, 2 pistols, and just a couple holsters for the pistols. So I do wish they had more. I think he looks pretty good once we get it in hand. Obviously, we'll know better. But I did see Chaz's thing with his face. This one popped up. So Shipwreck, we all know my thoughts on Shipwreck. I got 8 of them on Christmas morning to go with my USS flag. I didn't like Shipwreck then. I still don't like Shipwreck. But I do think the figure looks pretty good. Again, this is one of those weird ones where it's like you're not going to use that flip locker pistol. You're not going to use the parrot with anyone else. So I guess you're creating a mold specifically for him. But it would have been nice had he come with some sort of, rifle to go with everything. And again, I understand they want to give you everything. I do like the fact that he has the hairpiece. So you can make him either like the O-ring figure or the figure that we saw in the cartoon. So here he is in hand. These ones just went up online today. They're all over. Yes, not in the United States of America for the American hero, or a real American hero, but they're in Europe. Again, I know Articulated Chad has talked about this. I know I mentioned it. The way that, if you are an inbox collector, the way that it bounces from like the window package now to a closed package, then they came out, in my opinion, I really like the way this windowless box looks. The artwork looks absolutely wonderful. I think the GI Joe team is the only one that really seemed to do a really good job internally. And now they put a photo of the figure behind them. So when you pop it out. So I think that looks really nice, but now it's going to be gone. We're going to go back to the windows. I actually mentioned before, I kind of like the different size boxes that you get, because it's kind of like going into a bookstore, into a library. Not all books are the exact same size. They're going to be different. But I know a lot of people are going to want that uniform look. So here he is. A lot of people have complaints about him. I don't really have a complaint. I guess he doesn't look the exact same as the digital render. I'm never going to expect something to look like the digital render completely. But he does have some very, very nice sculpted hair. Polly, again, I don't know what this guy was doing. If this is exactly how it is, I would hope that Polly is not hanging down like that, because it would not look really good. Stu says, who do you think the 100th figure line will be? And yes, Viper Scott had answered that. Yes, it's a Hiss driver. They talked about how 100 was going to be something very special. So again, which one it is, who knows? It says with his hair on, he has a huge forehead. Hey, some people have big foreheads. Some people have small foreheads. But I think the figure looks good overall. Even if I don't really like Shipwreck, here he is with the hat on. I do think he looks better with the hat. Can someone tell me what the sailor's cap is actually called? Probably should have asked my dad when he picked me up today, since he was actually in the Navy. Oh, really? Hold on. Let me get a hold of somebody. He's something else. And I got another dog here, too. So I got two dogs right now. My ex's dog, which is my old dog. Dog still loves me. Now, I will say this. It seems like the GI Joe team is going pretty heavy and hard on tattoos. Now, it obviously started with Roadblock. Roadblock had it. Unfortunately, the gung ho tattoo is not what we all wanted, but we have a tattoo on Shipwreck here. Copperhead has a tattoo on the inside. Rock and Roll has a tattoo. I'm going to be really interested to see how the tattoos come off looking, because they could just look like their regular paint, or they could look like their actual tattoos. Maybe some faded, some are fresh, but it's gonna be interesting to see how they do it. Eric Thurman says, "I'm covered in tattoos. Bring it. I have no tattoos. I am the only straight edge punk skateboarding guy without tattoos. Not a single one." And here's how he looks without the cap or the hair. Again, same thing as they did with CoverGirl, not CoverGirl, with Lady J and Zorana. To me, I really like this idea. Rather than just giving, two different head sculpts. If you can get away with something like this, it works. Maybe this is what they need to do with berets. And so many people have a problem with the way berets sit on heads. It doesn't bother me. I've never had an issue with it, but I know there's a lot of military people that have such a huge issue. I have close to a dozen. And I think I have eight or nine. I forget what it is. And 7 of them are my original shipwrecks. But what is funny, I had 9 shipwrecks as a kid. I don't have one complete. Not one of them is complete. I am missing the hook and rope. Just a complete one. You would think that somehow I would just have one somewhere. But I don't. All right. So we got rock and roll. I really do like the rock and roll. I like the fact that he is not the 82 rock and roll. I never really liked rock and roll. I loved his big M60, but he's a very basic, bland figure. I know there are some people that are upset that he isn't just all green. Let's be honest. They made it. There will be a repaint. I think that's you can assure yourself that we're going to get. But I like this one. If you watch any type of military shows, I love the show SEAL Team. A lot of the Navy personnel, SEALs, are always wearing shirts that look very similar to this. And you're probably going to, I would assume it's just a military style shirt. But I think it looks awesome. I like the way this figure looks. Then you look at everything he comes with, the big giant M60. And I know people say, hey, you know what? That's not a gun they use anymore. But again, we're 40-year-olds playing with toys. He has his pistol, the helmet, the big radio. So I guess he's not going to get a Joe Pro like so many of them. But he is loaded with tattoos. I'm, again, interested to see how it is. I've seen people where they do the tattoos and the tattoos go across the break on the arm, and it doesn't look right once you bend the arm. I want to say my nemesis, Bobby B's Battleground, pointed it out very thoroughly. So here he is, and I gotta say, it takes time, but if you look in the middle, you'll see rock and roll. If you look on the sides, you're gonna see why we don't want an O-ring figure that is just 6-inch scale. Because as awesome as that is, I'm assuming that's some sort of 3D print. I don't know what it is, but that is what our O-ring figures look like in a 6-inch scale. The Torch looks pretty good. A Ripper. Well, he looks like Ripper, but it's a little weird there. Yeah, a lot of people say it looks like a combination of Rock and Roll and version 1 and 2. I don't think he looks anything like version 2, to be honest, other than that color scheme underneath, for the most part. He is, I mean, again, yeah, I mean, to me, this is just a repaint ready to happen when they finally decide to do the original 82 lineup, which I have a feeling they're going to eventually do. How that might be a Hazlab that they do, an actual 82, lineup. People would go nuts for that. And here's the inside of his box. Again, I think they do a wonderful job. They're the only ones that I can think of that do something on the inside of the box that just, they say, hey, you know what, we care. I wish they cared a little bit more. I don't want to say they care, because I don't blame the GI Joe team. I don't blame the Hasbro team. I don't blame the Marvel, the Marvel team. Hasbro. I don't blame the Marvel team. I don't blame the Star Wars team. I don't blame the teams for some of the quality issues. They're not the ones over in China or Taiwan or wherever they're producing the figures that are there to stop and say, hey, you know what? There's a gap here. Again, I will mention it again. Smaller companies have more control over that. There's so much red tape that there's going to be, and it sucks. I've had conversations with the designers that Hasbro, some of the designers at Hasbro, and they're like, it sucks. We see this. We're collectors. We don't want it to be like this. Jay says, wrist bullets suck. That's the only thing about this figure I don't like, but it's minor. I know, but it's kind of cool. I mean, honestly, it's just, it's kind of cool. I mean, it shows off his character. Yeah, if everyone was running around with bullets, but let's be honest, this is something that you could definitely work into. You could definitely work into your display where he's out of bullets, he's hiding, he's still holding that big old M60, and he's like, dude, I got 10 bullets right here, and he's like taking it off. Like, you could do some wonderful photography with that. Why would he wear ammo? Why would he wear ammo? Why would wear ammo? Anyone say easy target? Listen, dude, we're 40-year-olds playing with toys. We don't ask realistic questions. All right, we backed a tank that sits really high that would fall forward, right? I try not to ask realistic questions. Torpedo here. We've seen the pictures of the torpedo. I'm not going to pick up the pictures from Tony Urin. Who's the girl, the lady that did all the Copperhead and torpedo pics? Absolutely wonderful. Throw her name out there. Go follow her on Instagram. Amazing pics. Amazing. This figure to me is awesome. And they need to come out with a 10 pack, like a 10 head pack of all the different characters in a seal suit and a wetsuit, like just with their face. And that would be awesome. Like just a 5-pack, a 10-pack that you could only get from Hasbro Pulse. People would buy this figure up and they'd be swapping heads. You could have a Stalker head, Falcon head. No, not a Falcon. Not Falcon. Unless they fix Falcon. But a Flint head. You could not do Roadblock or Gung Ho because they're just too big. But I think that would be great. And again, you're seeing more and more small companies do these head packs. And it's one of those things where it's like, this would be low cost and high reward, in my opinion. And then this popped up today, Scrap Iron. And we all saw the box art before, but now we're actually seeing everything that it comes with. I'm really excited to get this figure. I mean, I'm excited to get all of them. I love my classified figures. I love my GI Joe. I know some people are not a fan of them. I am. That's why I talk so much about them. But I gotta say, the missile launcher, it's a pack rat. You can't tell me that they're not going to do other pack rats with this. And it's perfect. There's just so many different things that you could really do. And here's the loadout on the back. So we see everything that he comes with. I really do wish, I mean, the one thing that is a disappointment to me, and it is a minor one, is that he doesn't have his classic automatic pistol. Or at least in my mind, it was an automatic pistol. I always loved that pistol because it was just so damn cool. I know this is a little bit different, but that's what I always wanted. I love the fact that you see his helmet. He's got a wonderful face sculpt. Hopefully it's going to look exactly like this. The blast effects. Now these blast effects look really good, much better than the bullet effects that they're giving us with the Viper 3-pack and then all the other combo packs that they're giving us. But I like that you have two different lengths of the missiles shooting off. So I think that is absolutely cool. Again, I don't know. I thought people had posted that roadblock was showing up at Ollie's. Again, I do know that he's at Burlington. So, and for $8, he's definitely worth it. So I know we talked about this last week. It's from T1 Toys. They are a reseller, so you can pick up the stuff from over there, but how long it's going to take you to get it from, I believe, China, or maybe it's Taiwan. Taiwan, probably 8%, right? But I threw this in here because you really get a good look at all sides of it. I know someone had mentioned that it looks like one of the bad guys from, what's that Amazon show? It's an Amazon superhero show. Not The Boys, but there's another one. But I gotta say, I love the fact that they're giving him a different helmet or different head, but you also get the classic one. So if you want a uniform look of all your bats, your Arctic bat, your your Python Patrol bat, your Crimson bat, your regular bat. And let's be honest, there's going to be a jungle bat, which I think is going to be awesome. I think everyone loved that jungle bat. I think it's super cool. I love the chainsaw. Again, Invincible. Yes, Pain. Thank you very much. Invincible. It looks like one of the bad guys from Invincible. And I gotta say this, like, I know that these things take years. These things take years to design and stuff like this. But to me, it's almost like they had something, they weren't sure they were going to use it. And when Valiverse put out what their robot was going to be, basically their version of the bat, they had to do something else. I think the bat head sculpt is perfect. I mean, you want something that screams 80s O-ring. The bat head, it looks awesome. It's perfect. I absolutely love it. But I also love the fact that they're going to give us something different. Not to mention, you know what this says? Oh, hey guys, you thought you had to buy other bats. Well, now you need even more bats, and you need at least two of these because you need both heads on either one. Rip off the Band-Aid and just give us a ninja bat already. Okay, so that's a bat I probably could live without. But this, the sniper rifle, again, why does it need a sniper rifle? Everything would be all digital, the way he would shoot and aim. But they finally, and someone was just talking about how they never reused the Zartan San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Now, I am interested in this chest piece because it's completely different than these. So I'm really interested to see how it is. But again, when you're looking at everything, they did move the holster to the other side. So yeah, they're using the same body, but to me, I love it. Of course, you're going to have a backpack that's not going to have stuff on it. Yes, it does have a scope. If you look here, you can see the scope right there. And I want to say, you can kind of see the scope. Isn't that Zartan's sniper? I thought that was Zartan's sniper. Just from the strap and everything. So let's keep moving. And that is the end of that slide. Listen, as I continue on with all these different things, I'm learning that you can only have 50 megabytes for your presentations. So I have to do multiple ones because this one was almost 150. Some pictures take up a lot of space. Is Action here? Action Figures. He sent me over some stuff. He asked me what I think the next Hazlab is going to be. And he kind of made me rethink some stuff. So we got another incoming transmission last week. Everything's last week. And so here we have Agent Venus. This is much longer. You have heard me try to read stuff. From Agent Venus, Commander, as part of our standing arrangement, I have been monitoring the Hazlab offices disguised as one of their common employees while making certain Hazlabs remain on task unimpeded. I've uncovered information well worth my modest price. It seems Hazlab designers are playing your adversary GI Joe against you. They have outwitted that fool Destro by hosting General Hawk in a teleconference. This unexpected intrusion suggests G.I. Joe is not only aware of your his fleet, but shall be employing whatever means necessary to counteract it. Alas, I could only capture the meeting from afar, but understand, should have any further heroics in mind for me, you'll need to quickly pay my price. Otherwise, I humbly suggest you enlist another agent on your behalf to uncover the exact nature of their plans. I await your response. Again, I can't read worth shit, but I can read. So again, I don't know what was worse. Spending 20, 25 minutes looking at an I'll be back screen or listening to me read. So, yes, okay, actions here. Okay, so he sent me a message earlier, asked me what I think the Hazlab would be. I really have no idea. I really have no idea what it might be. And then he mentioned that he thinks that, it might be a thunder tank or a thunder machine. I don't think it's going to be a thunder machine for the fact that they are going really heavy on G.I. Joe. But as I talked about it last week, I don't know what you can really do with the earlier versions of G.I. Joe to make changes that what your add-ons would be. I don't think it's going to be a Dragonfly as much as I would love a Dragonfly. Chaz, thank you for joining in with the Wolverine. And again, I really don't think that a vamp, you could do a vamp with 4 doors, but the G.I. Joe community, they are so fickle about just wanting the original O-ring stuff in 6-inch form. I don't know if they would go for it. I think a Thunder Machine would be a perfect Hazlab because you could have the original and then you could add all kinds of stuff because that's what it was. Then it made me think. So you have at San Diego Comic-Con, you do have the Star Wars Hazlab coming out. Marvel has also hinted that they have a Hazlab coming out. So if in Yojo June they decide to drop the next Hazlab, it's going to overrun with Star Wars. And let's be honest, Star Wars needs to have nothing else going on because they already struggle as it is. And would we have the same issue with the Rancor and the Sky Striker? So then it made me think. This company, and I didn't believe this at the beginning, they do have a competition with Valiverse. Now, we all know what Bobby Valla has issues with Hasbro. I believe a lot of the G.I. Joe team, after some of the personal shots that he's taken at them, I can see why they would have an issue. He does have his truck coming out. I've discussed it. My thinking is, what if they are going to drop a vamp? And I've said my piece on this. What if they are going to drop a vamp, but it's not going to be a Hazlab? It's going to be a fan channel exclusive. Hasbro Pulse, BBTS, Entertainment Earth, hella dope toys, right? And it would be coming out around the same time that the Hiss is going to ship. This way, you could focus your Cobra vehicles as your next Hazlab because they just have better vehicles in a way. Not to mention, now it would be this direct competition against the Valiverse vehicle that they're going to put out. And I think you could do, in all honesty, I think that something like a basic vamp with a clutch figure should be around $150. Now, again, before anyone says anything, I am talking about from Hasbro's point of view and what they charge. Not what I think that they can do it for, but what they would do it for. Exactly, Payne. And the vamp could be the Stinger. It could be a Vamp Mark II. I think it would be... So you did a fan channel. It drops the same time the Hiss is going to come out. Then you can have a Vamp Mark II. You can have the Vamp Mark I. And then the Stinger. You do all kinds of different types of Jeeps. And then when you do your next HasLab, you kind of push it forward, let Star Wars come out, let Marvel come out, and then you do a Cobra HasLab again. But now you already have GI Joe vehicles. This is something that just kind of popped in when Action sent me something over like that. Because, listen, I have no clue. I think the Dragonfly would be the best idea they could have. I just don't think it's going to be that. It really sounds like they want to have a ground vehicle versus a ground vehicle. And it makes sense. But do I think that a Vamp is really worth it? Again, if I gave you the idea of, hey, you know what? Here's your Vamp. It's $200. When you hit your second goal, we're going to give you the outer casing of a Vamp Mark II with that clutch. And the third tier, we're going to give you the Stinger. The Stinger overlay, boom, with the Stinger driver. That would cause people to buy more. Then again, it leaves you with a bunch of shelves, different things like that. Not really my concern. So just an idea that I kind of popped up. And again, then they would have something to completely counteract what Bobby is doing. And I'm sorry, even though I was one that said I don't think they're doing that, I believe they are now. I really do believe that things have gotten personal between these guys. I mean, we know it's already on Bobby's side, but I really do believe some of the personal shots that he has taken at some of the GI Joe team, that he takes it personal. But if it gives us better stuff. Now, I'm going to stand by what I said before. I'm going to stand by what I said before. I think that a Vamp that's $150, I think most vehicles that are that big, people want the option to buy them, but most people are not going to buy it. And they're going to sit around and they're going to wait till you go on clearance, just like the TIE Fighter and just like the Snow Speeder, just like this right here, right? $33 Stridor. It went on sale for $3.29. I already bought one that I also bought on sale. And again, I understand GI Joe is a whole different universe. But again, you start getting into really pricey things. Gotta know Star Wars people, right? Star Wars people buy stuff all the time, right, Chaz? It's going to be a Joe vehicle HasLab. They specifically say General Hawk has, again, but what I'm saying is, what if they're not going to drop a HasLab now, but give you, let's say, a Vamp? It's just something that popped in my mind today. That's it. I mean, again, I think it's probably going to be a Joe of something. And honestly, it's probably going to be pretty awesome. But I think if you give people a 4-door Vamp, people are going to be upset about it because they want your regular Vamp. Okay. It's not a Rancor. All right. So let's get into the topic at hand. Well, let me move this really quick. Okay. Hey, do my you. Remove here. All right. So the topic at hand was people need to stop making excuses. And goddamn, I see it so much, and it drives me nuts. And I'm not saying you can't like something, but when you start excusing stuff, you just make excuses for stuff. You act like it doesn't happen. I watch you do a review video, and you can't say anything bad about it because you got something for free, or you're really trying to get something for free. Listen, these companies don't give a shit about you. They give a shit about me, you, or anyone else. They just care about their bottom line. And if you don't hold them to a higher standard, you don't force them to, you know, it makes people, you know, it says, hey, we can do whatever we want. So, this is Happy Pursuits. And the only reason I'm saying who this is because he did the review on the Ultimate Wave 2. I've strolled past and seen his stuff before, but I screenshotted some of his stuff. I'm not going to get in depth about his review or not because he pretty much just was pointing out the figures, which is what you really want in a review. You don't want someone telling you how great it is. You know, you want someone pointing out, you know, good, bad, and different things. So, let's start with the Baroness. And God, what the hell? So once again, we look at the face. And he even makes a comment that, hey, you know what? He even made a comment about, hey, you know what? I've had a hard time even getting the lighting right. You know, I've been doing this for a year or two or something like that. But again, that color on that face is not a skin tone. It looks nothing like what the Baroness is supposed to look like. And what the renders look like. Again, this is going back to what Super 7 tends to do. So, zero interest in Super 7. Well, again, this is not just about Super 7. We're just starting off with them. Yes, that Mexico Death Show. It's. I'm waiting for BBTS. So you look at this, like I'm not even saying that the face looks bad, like the sculpt on this. I don't think it looks awful. It does not look like what you got, but it doesn't look that awful. But the color and the glossiness, it doesn't look right. Now, this is nothing new for Super 7, but people keep buying the shit. And one of the issues, and I'll say this again, I believe a lot of Joe collectors are Joe collectors, not toy collectors. Again, nothing wrong with that, but they're buying something that they think, oh my God, that looks like the cartoon. It really doesn't. They're overpaying for it, not really realizing, you know, what it is. It's a Baroness looks like she's pregnant. Yeah, they tend to struggle, in all honesty, with their female bodies. Probably because they have really crappy articulation. So here's our Flint. Now, I thought the digital renders of the Flint looked really good. But here we have his painting on eyebrows. Yes, I know all the eyebrows are painted on. They're action figures. But it just doesn't look right. And again, the color is completely off. Now, let me see if I can find it quickly. I'm going to find that other Super 7 that I had up. Here we go. I'm going to add this to the stream here. So add this quickly. So you look at Duke here, and he has the proper color. It looks like they decided not to even paint the face. They were just going to go with the regular, just the color of the plastic, which doesn't work. Now, I want to know if someone's actually going to ask Brian Flynn about this. Because I got to say this. When people put Brian Flynn on, it is like softball fucking city. And when someone does ask him, he'll just go, whatever. You know, so hold on. Eric Thurman says Hasbro is like, nah, shittier. I'm not really sure what you mean. Hasbro wasn't trying to recreate the exact figure that you had in the cartoon. And I don't think the face looks shittier. Not even close. The digital render looks like the cartoon. Again, I will stand by what I say. The cartoon is not canon. Everyone has their own canon. I go by pretty much what the file cards and the comic say. And then my head canon. Cartoon was really campy. But just looking at the color, it just doesn't look right. This one here, like I don't even know what to say about it. I don't even know what to say about this. And again, you're paying $55 for something that, again, Mythic Legions, $50. Articulation isn't nearly as what you might think that it is. But everything else that goes into it, you go, all right, I'm okay with that because of the craftsmanship that went into everything. But this looks like a very glossy figure. And then he kind of showed two different ones. There's no paint. There's no paint on the lips. I know my lips are not the exact same color as the rest of my face, nor the rest of you that I see doing streams. The eyebrows are completely different because I don't know how that comes about. Everything looks completely different. And again, what the hell happened? What the hell happened here? Oops, PC. If you're watching the cartoon Scramble with Interference, I must be in Time Vortex. That's just all I see is my Blue Ninja 2-pack. And let's see. Now we're on the Mythics here. Mythics are worth the price. So much sculpting, and again, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you were getting with the Super7 $55, what they showed you, then I would say, okay, you know what? That's what you bought. So looking at these figures, this doesn't look like the cartoon, and it doesn't look like the digital render. They put this pink lipstick on her that is worse than the lipstick that the classified Falcon has, and I just don't get it. But the problem is, no one will call out Brian Flynn. And when they do, he'll say, what are you supposed to do? Well, you don't screw up your customers. You eat the cost. My personal opinion. Hey, when I remove myself on accident. All right, so there's other things. So, and I see this a lot, okay? I've seen people sit there and they will make excuses for classified. I love classified. I've had every single classified figure that's come out. I buy a lot of them. And yes, I guess I can kind of be part of the problem because yes, I will buy something. But when you start having, when you got your Recondo here, I pointed this out before, it's got a big gap. And first off, I've struggled to try and fix it, right? Now, this is the second Recondo. My first one didn't have that. But I shouldn't have to fix it. The Lady J that had one arm that was already knocked off. Yeah, I popped it back on, but it still pops off. The Zorana. Now, I didn't have any issues with my Zorana. Matter of fact, I'd have to fight. I mean, I would have to make the arm pop off. But guess what? I've looked online. I can see how many people had a problem. You have your Hasbros, and we've gone over the Hasbros before. They will make excuses for everything. It becomes a problem. When I'm going to call you out, when this is my rifle, here, I put it in front of me, look how it's completely bent. That's unacceptable. That's not stuff that we should have to deal with. But people will make excuses. If I'm going to call out, let's say, Gridiron Studios, who send warped weapons. They may not have a huge warp, but if I'm paying $15 for a weapon, that thing should come in a flat case, right? It should be encased, just like the Mark II toys. But it doesn't. But people make excuses for them. Tony, I'm not going to say you are, but Tony. I love you, buddy. I also have another story for you later on that you're going to laugh about. So, you just have a lot of people that want to make excuses. Get to Valiverse. I told you one of the reasons why I really got into review that people started catching on was because you have people that told me that Valiverse are the greatest figures ever. And this is what a premium figure is. And then you had people that said, this is the shittiest figure ever. They have to be heated up. They break, they snap. Well, I don't think either was true. They weren't the greatest figures ever. They're not the shittiest figures ever. But listen, I've listened to other people. I saw it today. Literally, people do dirty things to people about it, right? And with Valiverse, you had like the hips that broke, right? And say, right on it, you had Bobby, who was sending stuff out, getting replacement hips, taking care of the customers. But you had people that were literally basically sitting there saying, no, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm like, dude, the owner is saying there's a problem with it. But I go back to my review of, not the Delta Trooper, my review of the Steel Brigade Night Ops, and he completely split. People watched it. That was first recording. His head popped off, and then I started getting pictures sent to me of the seam just splitting on that and the Delta Trooper. They were built at the exact same time. But I got people telling me, no, you don't know what to do. You didn't warm up the figure. Well, I didn't. No. We're not getting into that. This thing split. For some odd reason, that's something that, I don't know, it gets swept under the rug. You had the female figures in Valiverse. They're ankle snapping, but people want to make excuses for it. I literally watch people go, oh, that's not a big deal. I can fix it. No. You don't spend $32 on a figure, and when it breaks, you go, I'll just fix it myself. No. This is how things either get swept under the rug and either don't get fixed, right? They don't get fixed because either the company doesn't know it, or you sweep something under the rug, and eventually the owner, we'll say Super7, will give you an Andre the Giant that looks absolutely nothing like Andre the Giant. I struggled to find a picture. I watched the video again. He was just on our buddy Travis's show. And I watched this video, and it was like he struggled to say that the goddamn fucking face looked nothing like Andre the fucking Giant. But I think he gets free product from Super7. A lot of these people get free product from Super7, and other they don't. More and more stuff has come out over companies that send stuff, but people don't want to admit it. And then, when they do get called shills, if you're pushing a product and you're saying how perfect it is, and you're not really going over it, well, that's when you're kind of just enabling people. You're enabling companies to do whatever they want. Yeah, Roman agrees. Don't you agree, Roman? So yes. Give me a bark. You look at the Green Power Ranger from Super7. Oh my gosh. I couldn't even find a decent picture to post. It looks absolutely nothing. It was awful. And sadly enough, the Green Ranger, it took his own life right after. And it makes you wonder. Did he do it after he saw it? Yeah, I went there, dude. I'm sorry. If you don't like stuff like that, definitely don't want to be on my personal Facebook page, because I ain't posting really. At least I used to. Not as bad. But I just think that people now they're so into apologizing for companies that get two shits about you. Going back to Hasbro Pulse, sending out these retro cards. literally putting them in a box that's too small. BBTS and Entertainment Earth would never do that. I'm assuming Hella Dope Toys wouldn't do that. I'm guessing their Zoic would. I'm going to guess any type of collectible place is not going to do that. And people specifically order them from Pulse because they're like, yeah, we know that Walmart will ship them in a fucking box. Or, I mean, in a bag. Sometimes not even a bubble mailer. It's just a bag. Right? That's how I got one of mine, just in a bag. It actually wasn't even that bad of a card, believe it or not. And I don't really care because I'm going to open it up. But the fact that you are trying to do something that we learned a long time ago, that two objects cannot occupy the same space. Every time I see a car accident, I'm like, yeah, you realize two objects can't occupy the same space. But again, people want to make excuses. And again, we all buy stuff that we might not like. And then it goes to just because we are unhappy with specific things with a company does not mean that we don't buy the product or that we shouldn't buy the product. That is something that Mr. Cheeseburger seems to have a huge issue with. I don't know if he's listening. He seems to tune in to different streams at times. I don't dislike the guy, but I do think that he does do a little bit of trolling. But you can dislike a company or be unhappy with a company and still purchase their stuff because you know what you're willing to do. But again, it's just one of those things that I just think, that's my hat, buddy. You want to go outside? Oh my God, hold on. Let me call for one of the children. I'm sorry. Seriously, he will go outside, Roman. He's going to go outside, and then he's going to come. Oh my God! He'll go out for like 2 minutes, if that. And then he'll come right back in and come up here. And then want to do this all over again. And then when I get done, I'll let him outside, and he will run around for 15 minutes outside. Like no one would have let him out. And now, right now, my daughter is sitting here looking at him like, go outside. Go. Thank you.
He's crazy.
I know he is.
Get a new dog.
I can't get a new dog. We're building a whole line of merchandise around him. Okay. Do you want to say hi to everyone and show that you're the one that created the merchandise?
Girl, I think you gotta give me this much
credit. So this is, if you've seen the pictures. All right, there's 40 people in here. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up really quick. So this is my daughter. She is the one that took too long to do this after I hounded her. But this is some of the new merchandise. And I do believe that this picture of Roman is going to be used on some other things that I'm going to have to, that I'm working with. So if you are interested, this is new merchandise that's out there. God. This is the person that did it. So she is the one that you have to thank. These aren't on the same one. These are two different shirts, cups, whatever it is. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Roman's coming back because guess what? You didn't go let him out.
No, well, he doesn't need to go out.
Do you want to go outside?
I thought your son was down there.
No, I've asked you to. He had an issue.
What, am I, a maid?
Listen, maids don't take care of dogs. But maids clean, but I've seen your room. You don't clean.
Hey, I do on my clean fridge game.
All right.
Or
Get out of here.
Whatever. Fill the fridge.
Does anyone want a child?
Roman.
2 children?
Whoa.
What? They'll do designs for you. Well, one will do designs for you. It's just going to take a couple months.
I have so much demand for things.
Hello, Master Verso. Nice to see you.
There's a wait list, Dad. Wait list.
Wait list what?
I don't know. There's a wait list.
Oh, see, and here's another one. A pup with toys. You need to do, again, Were you the one that mentioned that to me? Again, it didn't even dawn on me. And then they're like, punk it kind of kind of makes more sense. So we're worried about bitching about stuff. Oh yeah. So anyway, I just think, again, you can support a company that you're unhappy with a certain product. I'm not happy with the current Joes that we've seen. They seem softer, although a couple people that have the copperhead and torpedo in hand have said that they feel different. And we know that this is possible because if you have the Valiverse, you know the difference between the special deployment series, awesome. Almost a perfect action figure. You will not hear me say a single negative thing about the figures in general. Hello, Henry. Nice to have you in here. But yeah, so it's just been, so it's just one of those things. You can support it, but you don't have to apologize for everything. You get something that's wrong, something that's bad from Hasbro, from Valiverse, from Four Horsemen, from Mattel, contact them and let them know. If you do videos, do a video. It is the best thing that you can do because guess what? It is up there and people are going to see it. It doesn't have to be an overly produced video. You're posting it and it's going to sit up there forever. People are going to go on YouTube. That's how they're going to find it. And yeah, let's see here. There are actual shirts. I own balls saying, get a dog up ya, get a punk up ya Aussie. But yeah, so it's just one of those things. I think people need to stop making apologies for certain people, for certain companies, especially the big companies. And I will say this: all the issues like that you hear from the amount of things that Hasbro. I don't like saying classified has issues. It is Hasbro. This is not a classified issue. This is a Hasbro across the board issue, from the Star Wars figures to the Marvel Legends to the classified. I can't speak on any of the other ones because I really don't pay attention to any of the other ones. But again, like they have issues. But you know who I haven't heard many issues of? I can't think of any. Is Mattel and their Master Universe line. I can't think of a video that I've seen where people complain. I don't see pictures. Yes, a lot of the figures are very basic in many ways, but their Masterverse won like Toy Line of the Year a couple years ago, before I was even collecting it. And again, great price, big figures, articulation, and you don't hear much bad about them. Again, they laid off a bunch of people like so many other ones, but I don't know. It was kind of one of those things that I listen, you want to come up with a topic, it seems to draw people in, get people talking. It is hard to read through the chats, especially when some of you guys have 2, 3, 4 lines on them. Let's see what Jeremy has to say. Emily, in the last Power Rangers stream, encourage people to contact customer service with issues. That is exactly what you need to do. And you don't have to be a YouTuber. Like, you don't. You could be someone that's never done a YouTube video at all. Let's say you have this Wakando and it was absolute shit. All right? Now, I have an issue with this gap here. It's really the only problem that I have with them. Not a huge issue, but we shouldn't have to fix stuff like this. I guess the gun too. I guess the gun. Well, let's say you have this, right? And it's complete dog crap. You may never have done a video, and you just you just get in front of your camera, pull your iPhone out, maybe Android. I don't know what Androids do, and you just do a video. And maybe it's a 5-minute video, and you post it. That thing goes viral, and every toy collector sees it, and Hasbro sees it, and GI Joe team sees it, and hell, Mattel sees it, and Valiverse sees it, and all these other ones. They can use it against Hasbro, and hopefully we'll make them be better. I mean, that's where the issue is. Yes, Matthew, you're right. I don't mind the way the gun looks, but the fact that when I put it in his hand, it's like shooting around corners. But I'll say this: I put guns in gridiron guns in hands, and they start to warp them after a while because there's too much tension on that 3D print stuff, and it starts to bend it. Listen, I have 2 Ricondos. Of course, he was like, I think $10. That's why I got this one. It's a good figure. Is it perfect? No. Maybe when the regular Ricondo comes out, it will be better. Yes, Ricondo's good. It's not a QC issue. It is a it is an issue with plastic. Here, perfect example. Storm Shadow. As I mentioned in my review, this thing is literally just super soft. Now, it does flex back to where it needs to be, but I'll show you this. Deadpool here. This gun here, if you guys don't collect anything like Marvel Legends, this thing is honestly a fucking piece of rubber. It is that flimsy. Nothing. I mean, it is the exact opposite of an early Valiverse weapon, where if I put that much tension on it, it would snap. This is the exact opposite. Matter of fact, this could be used as the bowstring. It's that flimsy. And it's stuff like that. That is unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable for what we play. Now, and I also talked about this because I believe Bobby had talked about this in a roundabout way. He was saying how, like, you know, the Valiverse figures and McFarlane figures, you like figures like that, they're for 14 and up. Where Hasbro forces their collector lines, Black Series, Classified, Legends, they're for 3 and up. Well, maybe it's time that those teams approach Hasbro and be like, listen, for the 6-inch figures, sure, kids can play with them. They can be in the kids' aisle, just like the McFarlane stuff. But maybe we need to up it so, you know, it's 13 and up or 14 and up, so we can have stiffer weapons, stuff that isn't going to be bent and just flimsy right out of the box. Again, I can heat this up and straighten it, but as soon as I put it in Ricondo's hand and he's actually holding it, it starts to warp. Now, sure, I can do pictures with it and move them in certain directions, but, you know, I'd rather throw in this Valiverse weapon, which I think is a little bit too big, in my opinion. I mean, maybe it's the scale, I don't know. But I think it looks better than a warped weapon. Because, again, I guess if you're shooting around corners, it's great. But what makes no sense about some of the Hasbro stuff is that some of the stuff is awesome. Some of the stuff is like a perfect mix of the stiffness that it should be with a little bit of give. And then the other stuff is like super soft. So, Payne here says, that won't happen, Lawrence. They don't want to alienate or limit their customer base. Again, I did say that it would, and I'm usually the first person to try and talk, like especially talking about Hasbro. When talking about Hasbro, I'm usually one of the first people to try and speak as how I think Hasbro see things. It's something that now, in all honesty, is something I've been really good with my whole life, kind of taking myself out of a situation, whether I believe in it. A matter of fact, at the skate park, the manager there a couple of years ago, he jumped on me because we sat outside till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning just talking about stuff. and he assumed I was just like this blind Trump supporter because I was saying, well, I can see what the people that support him, this is the reason why I see what they're saying. And he had a hard time accepting and understanding that I'm not saying this is how I feel. I'm not saying it's not how I feel. I'm saying I can see why someone is following him, just like I can see it for either side of the aisle. Sometimes if you can take yourself out and debate stuff, like I said, I can usually take both sides of anything other than what was Torpedo's nickname? Those people. Like fucking Jared, Subway Jared. Yeah. I will never try and debate and argue on that side of the aisle. Let's see here. I've now gone 6 months and still going with not purchasing a single Hasbro product. Well, I mean, hey, listen, that's awesome. I mean, if you feel like you need to take a stand against Hasbro, then awesome. Just remember there are other worse companies that you might support, and I mean, it's good for you. I don't really have a problem. I know a lot of people are mad that they laid people off. People get laid off all the time. And let me tell you something. To other people that do have an issue with Hasbro laying people off, and they don't want to buy their products, look at yourself and ask yourself if you're buying a foreign car, because living here in Detroit, I can tell you all the people that bought foreign cars put a lot of people out of work and out of business here in Michigan. So, again, it's up to you. If you just don't like the product, then you don't like the product. But yeah. But you say, okay, so not supporting any big company, things go pear-shaped very quickly. Well, again, if that's what you feel, then good. I mean, we're all different people, and I think that's what makes us great. My ex used to think oh, you need to find someone like you. We're not compatible. I don't want. I don't want people like me. Listen, we don't need a bunch of straight edge assholes that are punk rockers like me. All right, the world would be a really angry place. I gotta say, 49 people watching, even with the intermission. Thank you guys so much. I did kind of check in, so there was 33 people while we were still on the I'll be back break. I gotta say thank you guys. So let's get out of this and let's talk about a few other things. So I want to say thank you to every single one of you that are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, take a second, run over there and do it if you like the content. I was able to hit 2,000 subscribers. Watching a lot of stuff about YouTube over the past year. Subscribers don't really mean all that much when it comes, if you're not watching the content, YouTube stops pushing it out there. And just like if you are watching this all the time, you're watching my stuff all the time, you might not be subscribed and they're going to push stuff out. But hitting that 2,000 subscriber mark was absolutely huge for me. When I hit the 1,000, I was looking at 2,000 by the end of the year. And then I just kind of watched it increase, and I was really, really excited. So when you see me post on Instagram, thanking people for 2,000 or doing the, what's it called? A community tab, a community post. I really do. I really do appreciate everyone. Again, super chats that you get, channel members. As I mentioned before, channel members now. At the end of every video, your names will be there. So if you want to get a quick shout out, help support the channel. The merchandise, I will be putting out other merchandise. And the way that it works, you're not buying it from me. You're buying it from that company. And I bought stuff from there. It is one of the companies that is integrated in with YouTube. There's like 3 different companies. So it's not like you're putting an order in. I'm going in here. You look at like Hella Dope Toys, toy store. They have the merchandise there. They're actually grabbing it. They're setting it up. I'm not doing that. They're printing the stuff. The first shirt that I ordered, it was off-centered. I called them and I told them. They took care of it right away. Well, they would have taken care of it faster had I would go ahead and sent the picture like I was supposed to, but I completely forgot. So anyway, again, I just want to say thank you to everyone, all the support. I mean, the best thing that you can do, other than send me $100 super chat, is like and share. Like if you're in some of these different toy groups that you think people would enjoy, go ahead and put this out there. I put this out in my group, Punks with Toys. If you're on Facebook and you haven't joined Punks with Toys, please do. You're trying to grow a community. If you're here now and you're not on my Instagram, go there and like it. I don't understand why you wouldn't. You're going to be getting all the exact same stuff. And then Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out Twitter. I don't understand Twitter. Does anyone else understand Twitter? But yeah, I enjoy doing this. And I love seeing new people. I love the fact that so many of you guys stuck around. We were at like 50, 53, 54 viewers when I had to take off, which absolutely kills me because I do like seeing that there's people tuning in to watch. And when you can watch the stream and see that it stays steady at around 40 to 50 all stream long, it shows that whatever you're doing, people are interested in it. I can't imagine that if you hated to hear my voice, which again, I don't know how anyone likes my voice, why you would stick around for 3 hours. But there's so many guys from obviously Payne, except I don't think I hit him. Payne, who's all over the place. He's on lots of streams. Obviously, Matthew. If you're in any Joe streams, you're going to see Matthew. Anthony Romo, we kind of stole him over from A Toy Kind of Mood. He's ours now. I'm just throwing it out there. Tony's ours. Like, I've taken Tony, all right? Tony will eventually be integrated into a Punk with Toys. When he's not saving lives, because he's an actual real hero out there. Yeah, like I said, I have Twitter. The only thing I ever really do is I share the videos when I do a review. I think it's live on Twitter right now. I don't understand Twitter. I struggle to find out, like, when someone like made a comment, I'm like, how the hell do I find what comment they made? Because I kind of feel bad that I see like people. If you notice on most of the videos, like if you make a comment, if there's some way to reply, I will. Sometimes people make comments and I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to respond to this. I don't know how to I don't know how to respond to this. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. Matthew knows because I send Matthew a lot of them. Like, how's this guy talking about? The dulcet tones of Larry in the evening. Yeah, I don't know. Like, listen. The one thing is the live streams, YouTube in general, anything. Everyone says they hate their voice. I'm no different. I hated it. I used to hate when I had an answering machine. And I had to do an answering machine. I hated the way my voice sounds. But the one YouTuber that I follow, and he talked about it, and he said, when someone asked a question, and they said, someone asked a question and said, well, how do you get over your fear of like talking? I don't like hearing my voice. And he said, listen, I understand this. Whatever like you're hearing, like whatever you're saying, that's how people already hear you. Like it's no different. So if you're talking to someone, that's how they hear you. To them, it's not a shock. It's a shock to you to hear yourself. It's not like I'm watching my own videos all day long. I'm not that egotistical. Let's see. Muda Mode says, when did you get your USS flag? 1985. Christmas, 85, I think. Is that 85? You know that meme that always goes around that says, like, this is the 30th year that I didn't get the USS flag? I've taken that meme and I'll cross it out and I'll say, like, this is the 30th anniversary of when I did get the USS flag. Yes. So, since you must be kind of new here, I'll tell you my story of the 8 shipwrecks. So, Christmas morning, if you remember the GI Joe figures, like the O-ring figures, that they were back to back, you could put 2, and then my parents could wrap them. You knew they were GI Joe figures or Star Wars figures, Lone Ranger figures, whatever figures was packed like that. I was into GI Joe, so I already knew. Hold on quickly. I think a lot happened in the chat here that you can't keep up with, dude. I'm going to come back to that in a second. After I finish my USS flag story that I know people have heard already numerous times. So anyway, Christmas morning, I can see, that these are these figures. And I open up these figures, and there's 2 shipwrecks. Now, mind you, I already have shipwreck. I don't even like shipwreck, but now I have 2 more shipwrecks. All right, whatever. I open up another pack. It's 2 more shipwrecks. So I have 4 shipwrecks for Christmas, and I still have one. I grab another 2 shipwrecks back to back, right? There's 6 shipwrecks here. I open up another one. It's 2 more shipwrecks. So now I'm sitting here with 8 shipwrecks. I already have one. And again, 85, I would have been just about to turn 10. My birthday's right after Christmas. And I look up, and if looks could kill, my mother would have been just blowing laser, heat waves or heat laser blasts out of her eyes at my dad. She thought I'd figured it out. And then, I just continued to open other stuff. My dad kind of disappeared, but you're a kid, you don't understand. Then my mom's like, hey, why don't you go downstairs? I go downstairs, and there is the USS flag. Matter of fact, my dad picked me up from the dealership today and drop off my car. And I asked him, I'm like, do you still have the, you got to have the pictures, right? Because my mom passed away when I was 13. So he's been remarried, and the pictures have kind of bounced around from my house, from his house to my house, back and forth. And I'm like, I know there's a picture of the USS flag, just the box in general. And I know there's obviously some other stuff. So I'm going to try and look for that stuff maybe in the next couple weeks. Post that stuff. I know Tony posted some stuff not too long ago, I think, with the dragonfly. That's cute. We all had the dragonfly, right? Yeah. I know. Someone needs to meme the Punk's flag story. Listen. It is my story, all right? Eventually, you'll probably hear someone on another YouTube channel. They'll probably have the exact same story. Probably live on an island, probably the Vipers, to be like, I remember when I got the USS flag. And okay, so for some odd reason, the only stuff that I kept was my GI Joe stuff. I have no idea what happened to my Motu stuff, my Transformer stuff. My Star Wars stuff, I know what happened. I killed it all. I literally decapitated every single Star Wars figure that I had. The G.I. Joe stuff was the stuff that that was my childhood. I had enough. I was pretty spoiled, as you might imagine. So I had some Motu stuff, but not a lot. I had Transformers, not a lot. But I don't know what happened to any of that. But all the G.I. Joe stuff, I know I did not get rid of. And I know my dad would not have gotten rid of the stuff unless I told him he could. Or maybe even I got rid of it. So the GI Joe stuff, I have like the Terradrome is mine, my childhood. One of the Maulers is mine from my childhood. One of the Mobats is. One of my bases is. The GI Joe headquarters is. I have a lot of stuff that's still from my childhood. A lot of the stuff has also become mixed and matched. Cody says Punk's dad was in the Navy. Yes. Got Punk a flag. Thought because he's got an aircraft carrier, he needs tons of sailors. So he got him a shit ton of shipwrecks. Dad was awesome. Listen, my dad is and was, I mean, what? My dad is awesome, yes. My dad was the one that he took us skateboarding. He took us snowboarding and it would just sit there. And then eventually was like, I'm going to learn how to ski. He sucked at it, but he would ski straight down while we were snowboarding. And he'd get on the left. But yeah, it's no, okay, so listen, hey, listen, okay. Yeah, I lost my mom when I was 13. Honestly, listen, that is a tragedy that happened. To say that I was an adult at that age is an understatement, but I was one of those people that turned it into a positive. So earlier, someone said something about being straight edge. Listen, at 13, you lose your mom. It was more like I was an adult at that age. Okay. My dad had, my little sister. My dad worked in the auto industry, so we didn't see him a lot because he worked afternoons. So my dad obviously had to change everything. And the way my dad raised me, it's how I am. That's how I've never really dated since I split up with my ex. I need to focus on my kids. My dad focusing on us. And, when you're young, you promise your mom that you never smoke, drink, do drugs. My mom was a habitual smoker, and she hated it. And so I promised her I never would, and I never did. My dad knew the guys that would smoke and drink and stuff like that. So my dad gave me a lot of let me do what I wanted to do because he knew all I wanted to do was skateboard. So that's truly it. There was something else that I was going. Okay, what was the question that I said I was going to talk about? I should have started, but I didn't. Matthew, do you remember what I said? I wanted to get back to. Oh my gosh, who was it that asked it? Ray Paz about keeping up with the chat. Yes, so Ray Paz just said, I think a lot happened in the chat here that you can't keep up with it. So when, again, I don't want this to come off like super egotistical, but I've said this before. I've talked to Matthew about this, talked to other people. Listen, I'll get to this in a second. I don't want to be a year into streams and only have like 20 people. I want to grow the community. I like the interaction, but I don't want to just have people watching. I want other toy collectors. So I've taken my time to try and grow the channel the way that I have. But if I go look back in November when I first did this, when I could answer every single chat and you could talk to every single person, it was pretty easy and it was fun. But once it started getting busy, and it started getting busy pretty quickly, Matthew said, you got to stop reading the chat. You got to follow your notes, which I wasn't doing. First, I went to notes. Now I went to slides, which is much easier to stay on topic. And he's like, you got to ignore the chat. Tune into the chat from time to time, see what's going on. But if you notice, sometimes I hit something, boom, I pull it up, and it's like, I shouldn't have even done it because, boom, it just, you have no idea where the hell you're at or anything. And some people are communicating. So there have been people that have gotten upset with me thinking that I'm ignoring them. I'm not ignoring you. Like, there's so much stuff that starts happening. I don't have, like, Matthew is not a producer. I have to figure that out so he could star chat. I know I've watched like 3POA in the past. They have somebody, I don't know if it's one of them or if they have a producer that will star different things in the chat. Now, when someone leaves a super chat, that's one of those things like, all right, I got to answer that because someone is sending you, they're donating to you for your time. You definitely want to answer what they have to say. So you get lost. And I don't mean to miss. Listen, I can sit here and talk to myself all day. I can sit here for 3 hours by myself. But yeah, so it is one of those things where if I ever miss something you said, it's nothing personal. If it's something personal, Matthew will take care of it. Motu quickly says, what is your favorite punk band of all time? Well, if you're watching any of my videos, you know it's Sick of It All. It's Sick of It All and then Pennywise. Sick of It All was the first. Sick of It All and Biohazard was the first actual concert that I went to back in '93 in Detroit. Not in the outskirts of Detroit. Not 30 miles outside of Detroit, where Kid Rock lived, where he grew up. He grew up in Detroit. And I went with that song because it was GI Joe Head Stomp. And everything that I was doing was GI Joe content. I had no intention of coming to where I am now. Anthony says, to be honest, there's a lot of mofos here in the chat tonight and a lot of Monday nights. Sometimes this community is great no matter what anyone says. You know what? Sometimes it is. There are some really great people in this community. There are a bunch of assholes. But it doesn't matter what community you're in. You're going to find assholes. There's going to be people, that think I'm an asshole. Again, I can go round and round. I've mentioned before, there are a lot of good people that put out content that a lot of people like that I don't like to listen to. So I don't watch their stuff. They don't seem like bad guys. They don't seem like they have bad content. I don't like hearing them. I don't want to hear them. I don't want to watch them. So I don't. But I also don't badmouth them. I think there are other people in the community that will, they're looking to start drama. They want the drama. They are going to attack people. So be it. Have fun. Then there are some people that I don't have a problem calling out, like Viper Island. And I've mentioned why I don't like Viper Island, and that is because he not only gives the community a bad name, but when I say, like, there's a lot of Joe collectors that I think are Joe collectors, not toy collectors, they're looking for Joe news. And they see him with 15,000 bought and paid for subscribers. We can get into that again one day if you want. And he's giving them false information, like it's actual proof. We're not even going to get into all the stuff that he steals. And people tune in and they think like he's an authority figure, and what he's doing is spreading lies and BS to people that don't know any better. Watch some of the news channels. You get the exact same thing, right? I'll say it again. If you don't know who he is, take a second and go look at Mike Zero. Right? He is the greatest Star Wars content creator ever. And again, I love bringing up Mike Zero because I think he's awesome in such a bad way. But again, there are some people that are just bad for the community in general. I don't think they have a love for what they're doing, and that's fine. You don't have to love the toy collecting, the way I do, or maybe you do. I've often said it about skateboarders. There are some. I am a skateboarder, right? There are people who just skateboard. They're not skateboarders. Not better, not worse. And you don't have to be the greatest person. You don't have to be the greatest skateboarder to see yourself as a skateboarder. I've always seen myself as like that is my first identity. If you said, "Hey, what is your number one love past your children?" It's skateboarding. If you said toys or skateboarding, I'm gonna say skateboarding. It is my useless wooden toy. It has brought so much joy to my life. It's brought a lot of heartache to my life too. I'm not gonna lie about that. And I tell my kids like, yeah, collecting toys is a lot easier on the knees, especially at 47. But there are people who ride a skateboard. They're way better than me, but they can put it down and not do it for 6 or 7 or 8 months and not even care. And then they pick it up and it's like they never skipped a beat. Me, I don't skate for 6 months. I go out and I am as rusty as shit, but I absolutely love doing it. Of course, my body nowadays is trying, it's kind of telling me to stop. My daughter asked me how long I'm going to do it. I said, until I can't. So my body literally says that I can no longer do it. Listen, Mike Zero is not clickbait. You ever see? Listen, okay. Yeah, it's me. I talk about Mike Zero because I love Mike Zero. I don't really love Mike Zero. Go look at Mike Zero and look how many videos this guy puts out. Now, I know just in general how much like you make per video or per click. Now, everyone is going to be a little different, right? Everyone's a little bit different. His is probably less because of the content that he does. But man, he's pushing out so much stuff. He probably goes into a room. Considering all the stuff that Mike Zero says, nothing has any merit to it. He just sits there, I think, on a weekend, probably produces 30 videos and then just punches them. I take it back. He'd have to do more than 30 videos for a month. Probably there's like 40 videos in one Saturday or Sunday, and then just pushes them out throughout the whole week and throughout the whole month. And then he's like, "Oh, good, has all his residual income coming in." Because you ever hear 3POAs talk about it? Analog Toys. Tony says it all the time. Hey, dude, you hate the show, but you came in and you gave us a click. Thanks. Oh, you came in and you gave us a thumbs down? Great. YouTube doesn't care. It's all part of the algorithm that says, hey, someone's watching this. So it's crazy. That's kind of why I feel bad when I do go and watch someone that I don't like, but sometimes it's like, I gotta see what they're saying. Sometimes they have good information. Other times you're just like, oh, all right, let's see what Viper's saying right now. And especially when Chaz will push out a new video, or when I find out he stole something from a Toy Kind of Mood and just cropped them out, which is, I mean, honestly, it still makes me laugh. Everyone should crop Travis out of anything. I want to have Travis on here and just crop him out. I'm going to put a Punk with Toys picture right over him. Right now, Tony is listening, laughing his ass off. Ripaz says, here's a title he may come up with. Kathleen Kennedy is losing her job. 3 years later, she's still there. Listen. The amount of titles he has of Kathleen Kennedy is fired. Kathleen Kennedy is out. Jon Favreau is in. Kathleen Kennedy is out. Is absolutely fucking amazing. Like, I couldn't even come up with that many different ways to title the exact same premise of a fake news line. Oh, Cobra Law, there is no doubt. there is no doubt that she has killed Star Wars, but it still doesn't change the fact that that there's no merit to anything that he says. There's so many. Honestly, there's so many of them. It is hard to say, because I do love the Storm Shadow. He was actually my number one figure, if I remember correctly, from last year. Was he my number one? I think he was, my number one. But the more and more I look at him, I think it might be Tiger Force Outback Stew, like hearing that. I think that sculpt is just so dead on that. Did I highlight this? That figure's just it's so dead on, that Tiger Force. So yeah, I think that might be. I love that sculpt. That is not a $20 head sculpt. That looks like the Four Horsemen did it. Seriously. The bats, they would have been top 10 had I done had I gotten them last year rather than right before Christmas. I got them like the 23rd. They would have been in my top 10 for sure. I think the bat is an absolute perfect classified figure. And I love what they're doing now, how they're expanding. And I talked about it with the Arctic bat, that you can have this classic looking bat, but they've also altered it enough. And Radical Toys is here. I should pick up Outback. He looks good in the face. What Outback are you talking? The Tiger Force one, or I think they both look good, but the Tiger Force one is just, it is perfect. Yeah, it is perfect. I'm gonna have to do a call-in show with Lauren. Well, I mean, we do punks on film. We don't talk toys. We talk about a specific movie. We talk about some other TV shows we may be watching. I do have an idea for doing another show that would be opposite. It would be opposite the punks on film. So it'd be like every Thursday I would have a show, but every other week would be punks on film. And then I'm thinking about doing another show where I talk to somebody about, about who they are. Because there's so many people in the chat and everyone wants to know, people want to know who people are. People want to know who Allison is. People want to know who Matthew is. People want to know who Tony is, And a lot of these guys do get on shows, but where Payne is on so many shows, so it's not hard to find out who Payne is, although I would love to sit down and talk to him. One of the things that one of the reasons why I haven't delved into that yet is because it's the same thing with this. I want to be committed 100% to doing a live stream every Monday. I don't think you can see the people that have grown. The consistency is huge. How even in the name of the show that I did, I put Monday in it, so people know that it's on Mondays. Spoiler alert, Allison says, I'm a good person. I'm not a nice person. Allison makes me laugh with some of the stuff she says, especially about her ex and her ex-mother-in-law. But it's something that I would like to do. Raypad, you're right. Listen, there's 36 people watching. Let me explain something. What I believe I don't get asked to be on a lot of other shows because I don't ever ask someone to be on my show. And it's nothing personal against anyone, but I do a show for 3 hours by myself. And when it started, I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. Did I need to have a co-host? Did I not? I really looked at someone like Jim Rome. Yeah, he has guests on his sports show, but he does a show all by himself. I'm only doing it once a week. I can carry a show, obviously, for a whole 3 hours. Even I have to go pick up my son for 20 minutes. Some weeks are harder than others. But I do believe that I don't get asked to be on a lot of other shows because I don't ask other people to be on mine. I also think I'm very opinionated. I know there are certain larger YouTube channels that do know who I am that don't like me. Whatever, I don't care. I'm just here to talk toys. And again, but one of the things I have thought about is doing a Thursday show, maybe like a 2-hour show rather than a 3-hour, where I talk to one person, pretty much someone that's in the chat. Not so much go out and talk to, one of the guys, an owner of a company or anything. I'd rather talk to the people that are here helping grow this channel, that people get to know who they are. But the other thing is I need to be committed. I want to be where it's like, all right, this is a commitment. This is going to be every other Thursday. So I'm just going back and forth between Punks and Film. That's even, as little work as that is, it takes up time. This takes up time. But it is something that I have played around with. And it's not something that would have to be live all the time. Let's say like Radical Toys here. Let's say I asked Radical Toys if he wanted to do it, right? And he's like, hey, I can't really do it at night. Well, hey, we could record it earlier and then premiere it. Or we could do a live one. I prefer live, but there's a lot of people that I'm finding out. I can't say five. I have a lot of viewers that are out of the country. You look at Palpatine. He's literally 12 hours different than us. I was talking with Frostbite over the weekend. He's in Australia. I think he's like 8 or 9 hours ahead of me. So it's just something like that. And again, I appreciate that so many of you have made coming here, like, I don't want to say a priority, because you can watch this anytime. But I know, like, Sunday nights for me, I watch Geek Dad Life. They make me laugh. It's the end of my weekend. I'm gonna laugh. Speaking of Geek Dad Life, I want to say, listen, dude. John was going to open up he is opening up a brick and mortar store. Some asshole broke in and stole all his shit. So I don't know if they're doing anything, but if they are, and you can help out, I'm not one of those people that's all about, hey, you know what? Just donate to someone. But when someone loses everything because someone stole everything, oh my God. Well, Cobra Commander, thank you very much. I see all the regulars here. There's a reason why I do try and reply to every comment that's on one of my videos. It means a lot that you guys watch anything. Again, I look at them like, why the hell would anyone want to watch me? Again, the other thing, I know I talked with Matthew about it. I'm like, hey, good night. And I asked Matthew, I'm like, what am I doing right? What am I not doing? And it's just like, he's like, you're not boring. That's for sure. Like, you're not boring. I mean, we watch the streams where people are just like very monotone. They don't say much. Their stream seems like everyone else's stream. They go over the figures. I mean, that's great. I watch some of those. I enjoy some of those people. But like in anything in life, you have to make your mark. I didn't go out to try and make my mark. I just know how animated I am. I sat down with a girl a few years ago, and we were talking. She's like, I can't believe you haven't hit your steps by moving your hands that much. I'm like, did I really move my hands that much? It's like, yeah. This is an Italian thing, right? Allison says, one of my favorite channels, and I'm a member of several. Unique outlook and perspectives are where it's at. Thank you very much. Like again, like things like that mean a lot because I don't want any. I've been searching to figure out the way to say this. I'm glad that what I set out to do when I finally figured out what I want to do is coming off the way that I wanted it to. But I don't want it to come off like I'm trying to make it come off like this. I naturally wanted things to come off as being very open and honest. I've always been a very open and honest person. When I was younger, it was probably kind of mean. All right. But as you get older, you start to realize and you try and teach your kids to be better than what you were. And I try and be honest without being personal and attacking people. And I've heard a lot of people over the years go, oh, you'll just say whatever's on your mind. And I go, listen, dude, if you know the shit that went through my fucking head, you won't want to be anywhere near me, all right? Because I don't say half the shit that goes, like, I don't have to say everything that goes through my head. And at times, it's been detrimental because someone will ask me a question. Like I've always said, like, don't ask me a question if you don't want an honest answer. So I'll ask you, do you want the real answer? Like when I used to work out and people were like, hey, can you give me a spot? My first question would be, do you want me to do the work for you or do you just want me to nudge the spot? And that pretty much told them, all right, this guy's not going to do all the work for me. Because why are you working out if you want someone, you trying to impress someone over there? Let's see. Thanos Copter, he's still around. Oh, hey, you guys are still going. Just got back home. Listen, I left for like 20 minutes. I feel like I owe people more time, more free time. Tomorrow I got to wake up. I got to run into my office, which is like 25, 30 minutes from here. After I drop my kids off and wake them up. Then I got to get stuff. And I got to head down to the border of Michigan and Ohio. Then I got to go into Ohio. And believe me, none of us want to ever go into Ohio. What an awful state that is. And then I got to come back. And then I got to find some time to stop, get the keys to my car from the dealership because it should be done. Then find a way to make it back to the dealership, get my car, get home, take my daughter to gymnastics, all because my ex is in Dallas for training right now. Yeah, so Thanos, I'm still here. I'm still here. The worst thing is I will be wide awake for another hour or so at least. I'm so wound up when I get done doing this stream. Just like when I used to work out at night all the time. Like I'm not going to I'm not I don't go to sleep. So a punk ass with toys. God, that seems like it was so long ago that he came out and called me a punk ass, which I just found absolutely hilarious. We have not done Porky's yet. That was one. Did we? I don't think we threw that up there yet. So Matthew and I always pick one movie, and then we let the chat decide on 3 other ones. Then we put it up for the vote. As of last I checked, it was Big Trouble in Little China. It was Runaway. You guys do owe me $13 in super chats this Thursday because I had to buy the damn movie. I can't believe I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, I gotta buy the goddamn movie. And what's crazy is everything's just at the tip of your fingers. So you just go on iTunes and you're like, all right, you can rent it, but I'll just buy it. It has been a long time since I've seen it. So that will be, in I'm assuming that's going to win. There could always be a huge rush of people, I guess, that start voting. So, anyway, I think it is 10 after 11, a little bit past it. Really? I guess I didn't. I mean, I looked online. I didn't find it. Damn it! I wish I would have done that. Because I already started looking for Big Trouble in Little China. Because, damn it, damn it, it's not up there too. So, super chats will be more than welcome. With the 12 people that will be in. Hey guys, seriously, tune in. Honestly, I mean it. Tune in. We start talking about movies here. It goes gangbusters. I create a channel. I get Matthew to come out of his shell and actually show himself. And Allison and PNC are always there. There's someone else. I'm sorry that I am completely forgetting. Were there any Police Academy movies after Gutenberg? I don't know if there were. Honestly, I can only remember 1, 2, and 3. 3 has the skateboarding. 2 has the cat that shits in the cereal, and he flicks it out. That's what I remember. Oh my gosh. Anyway, you sent it. Thank you very much. I don't. Oh my gosh. Okay. So let's wrap it up because it is midnight. Gave you guys the 15 minutes. Give you an extra 15 minutes because I left you guys for like 25 minutes. Again, I checked in because I had to stop when I got there and my son wasn't out right away. There's like 33 people that were sitting in the chat. It's awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. Who is this? Screaming Skull Saloon. I cannot say that I've ever seen you in here before, but thank you for joining. You yell Cobra. I say Cobra is one of the movies I definitely want to. That I'm going to be throwing up there soon. Definitely going to be throwing that up there pretty soon because I like Cobra. That is such an awesome movie. This is all of our abandoned issues were triggered. Dad left for a pack of cigarettes and didn't come back. I should have just left you guys on there, right? Just left my stream there forever. No more YouTube videos. Just boom. I'll be back. Like every deadbeat dad when they head out to 7-Eleven or the gas station for a pack of cigarettes. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up because if I don't actually wrap it up, I'll continue to say it over and over. A matter of fact, on Punks with Film, I already told Matthew, hey, you're the one that has to say it's time to go because I won't do it. The weirdest, wait, what the hell? The weirdest part of Cobra is him eating a slice of pizza with scissors. Oh my gosh. Allison, it would have been tomorrow at noon and I'd be like, I hope they didn't arrest him for BTK. Hey dude, that guy was arrested already. Seriously, there was this is what you guys do to me, and Allison, I'm directly blaming you. If you look, you will find the murder that happened of God. What the hell is the guy's name? He had just blank stare, and he murdered his wife in his dad's shop. God, I can't think of it. But it's literally right down the street. Like the shop is right down the street. The street from my house, right down the street. His dad actually ended up committing suicide because he couldn't deal with it. I'm gonna get it for you, Allison. I'm gonna get it for you because now it's gonna drive me nuts. I want to say Peterson, but I don't think that's it. If you just look up Oakland County murder, you'll find it. I watch a lot of those weird shows, but yeah, it happened a few years ago. Crazy. Anyway, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm not the BTK. I'm just a punk with toys. That's all I am. Again, new merch. I'm going to have some other stuff that's going to be going up really soon. I do hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, everything from channel memberships to super chats to merchandise to the affiliate links, whether it be Amazon or Entertainment Earth, is definitely appreciated. It says there's only the Oakland County child murderers that pop up first. Oh my God, Lacey Peterson. No, Lacey Peterson. No, that's the one where Superman killed him. God, what the hell is his name? Damn it! Look up. God, what is it? It would be man dismembers woman in Michigan. It can't be that many, right? Can't be that many. He dismembered her and see, now I'm like, now it's gonna drive me nuts. You know, I'm not leaving until I figure this out. Allison probably already figured it out by now. Hold on. All right. The hell's that? Man. All right. You know what? I'm going to find out later. And I'm going to send it to you. Probably in like 5 minutes, Allison. I am really going to get out of here. All right. We can talk about crazy murders later on. Maybe we'll make it things a little crazy. And then guess what? I'll create a channel and no one will watch it but Allison at PNC. But we're going to have fun doing it. I may make jokes about punks on film, but I know Matthew and I have a blast doing it. And I know we have a great time with Allison and PNC and all you all should join us too. Anyway, gonna get out of here. Have a wonderful night. I will see you guys all Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take care, guys.